all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Savile, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, Guerrilla Cricket.
And good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world. It's Guerrilla Cricket. It's the first semi-final of the World T20 in Australia. It's in Sydney today, and we have surprise contestants in Pakistan who probably thought they were going home, expecting South Africa to beat Netherlands the other day. Then they went and surprisingly lost, which our South African friends at GCSA, I looked on their WhatsApp feed, they were most distraught, is all I can say about that. Another choke from the South Africans, which opened the door for Pakistan, who've squeaked through to the semis, ending up in second place, and will play New Zealand, who must be one of the favourites to win this competition. They are in Sydney. It looks all right. The stadium's a bit smoky after the fireworks, and they're singing the anthems. I'm joined this morning to start taking us through this by the Thunder from Down Under. It's Messi Jez in his weather cave in Perth, and Jack.
G'day, Bear.
He's now in Streatham.
Jack.
He's left Peckham. Peckham's cool. Streatham's not so cool, but he's there. It's Jack. How are you this morning, Jack?
It was alright until you started having a go at me.
Yeah, I'm not having a go at you. I'm having a go at Streatham. I don't like Streatham. I don't like that high street. Annoys me intensely.
It is an annoying high street.
Yes.
It's too long.
It's too long.
Too narrow.
It's too narrow. Well, it's too narrow at one end, and it's bloody two lanes at the other, and it's really irritating. And you can't turn right most of the places. Really fucking annoying. Anyway, that's for another day.
Depending on your perspective.
Well, yes, I'm in a car most of the time, and some of the traffic lights are a pain in the arse. I've got red light tickets in Streatham. Anyway, that's another story. Playing 11s for today. New Zealand won a toss, and they've decided to bat. As always seems to work out in tournaments. When it gets to the crunch, a lot of teams like to put scoreboard pressure on, and I think there's less pressure batting first because you can just go for it. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up. But if you get the runs on the board, pressure on the second half can be telling in competitions. So New Zealand have decided to bat. They've gone in Finn Allen, Devon Conway, Kane Williamson, Glenn Phillips, Daryl Mitchell, James Neesham, Mitchell Santner, Tim Southey, Ish Sodhi, Lockie Ferguson and Trent Bolt. Pretty strong looking side. Pakistan have Mohammad Rizwan, Babar Azam opening the batting, obviously. Mohammed Harris, Shan Masood, Iftikhar Ahmed, Mohammed Nawaz, Shadab Khan, Mohammed Wazeem, Nazim Shah, Harris Ralph, and Shaheen Shah Afridi. Thoughts? What's going to happen, Jack?
Well, you did odds before, weren't you? And you said that New Zealand were slight favourites. That probably seems about right. I think Pakistan's bowling is a little bit better than New Zealand's bowling, but New Zealand's batting is quite a lot better than Pakistan's. Pakistan haven't fired at all. I think they were the 9th best batting side and the best bowling side, and New Zealand have been kind of near the top of both.
That kind of makes sense. It does. But if Babar and Rizwan get it right today, we've seen that they can chase down anything. But as you say, I think Bolt, specifically at the top of the order, it's been swinging a little bit at the top of the order, could be tricky. And if he gets early wickets, well, Iftikhar Ahmed's the only other one who's really fired, isn't he? Every once in a while in the middle for Pakistan. The rest of them have been pretty poor throughout. Your thoughts, Messi?
Well, I mean, logic, I think, does say New Zealand, and they're very fucking good battlers in any circumstances. But this is Pakistan, you know. Pakistan were 45-1 to win the World Cup at the start of the Netherlands-South Africa game the other day. They're now $4.50. Yeah, just Pakistan shit happens, and you just never quite know, do you?
The proverbial mercurial side, one would say.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be a great game, whatever the case. It's fine weather and no hint of rain in the area, I'm pleased to say.
And the same for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's looking good as well. I won't say that about Sunday, but you know it's a way off yet.
It's a way off. Hopefully the weather blows through and we get a game on Sunday. Whoever's in the final, otherwise we'll be back sitting here all day Sunday and coming back on Monday. Sorry, just sorting out the teams in the carts. I forgot to do loads of things before I came in this morning. And the traffic on the South Circuit, it wasn't great. Not there.
So have we got the GPL going this morning?
GPL is going. It's starting at £41, I think, if I'm correct.
Excellent.
It's £41. Yep. Get your entries in. Closes at 8:45, so you've got 45 minutes to get your scores in. And if you win it, you win what's in the pot. The more of you enter, the more money's in the pot. And we had a winner not so long ago. D Worlds won £336. So that's what happens if you actually enter. It gets up there and becomes very exciting. The players are out on the field now, and we shall be going in a couple of minutes. I should play some jingles, I suppose. Who's going to open? Finn Allen?
Almost certainly.
And Devon Conway.
We're all living in Finn Allen's town, and he's shutting all the bowlers down. Out of the box, he's hitting fours, over and over, as easy as that.
He's going to open with. Opening the bowling for Pakistan will be.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi. No, not that other guy, that Shaheen. It's always time for Shaheen Afridi. No, not that other guy, he used to find the ball. Shaheen Afridi, Shaheen Afridi.
And a much maligned skipper we catch our eyes with is Kane Williamson. Not been spectacular this tournament. One of these captains who people say maybe shouldn't be in the side, and there seems to be quite a few of them in this tournament, and players that possibly shouldn't, but every team has to have a weak link, and I've seen him do it in the IPL. Maybe that was a couple of years ago, but you know, it is possible. And this man, Finn Allen, well he might be, has he played in the IPL, Jack?
I think he's been around a few teams, hasn't he?
Has he? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's like had a season or is associated with the franchise, so to speak. But he's been around.
He was with the RCB, but didn't actually play a game.
Well, I hope he's trying to put himself in the shop window, because presumably that's coming up quite soon, isn't it? Afridi, anyway, first ball, swings in, driven straight down the ground. That'll get him off the mark nicely. Right up in the slot hole, right where it deserved to be. Put back down the ground for 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
That swung right into the arc, and that will please him that he got that first ball. Now, how do you think Pakistan will feel about this? I mean, isn't it the case that you know, having probably not expected to get in there for most of whatever it was Sunday, and then suddenly find themselves in a position to get in and beating Bangladesh quite simply. Oh, now there's the pill for over. I think that pitched outside leg. Oh, the umpire's given it though. Do you think it was out? I thought it pitched outside leg. It was very full. It probably going on to hit the stumps, I have to say. Finn Allen might have a little review. I thought that pitched outside leg. We'll have a look here. It was pretty full.
I think it was too full. I think it hit leg stump, but that's in line for me.
We have one of these.
It may be umpire's call on.
Better out than in, better in than out. Better out than in, better in than out. In, out, shake it, pull it out.
Have a look here. Oh, no, you're right. I think that is in line.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
out.
Oh, was that a big inside edge?
Oh, it's huge inside edge.
Massive inside edge, wasn't it?
I couldn't really tell.
Close.
Erasmus took a long time to decide. I thought there was a huge inside.
I don't think it.
Oh, was it that
why
optical
wouldn't he
illusion?
review straight away?
Well, exactly.
he smashed
Maybe
it.
that was an optical illusion.
Well,
Well,
it seemed to, yeah,
Man, massive inside edge.
he
Yeah.
absolutely he smoked it.
He has indeed.
It's come off the face of the bat.
Yeah, pretty much. Fat inside edge. So Reyes needs eyes testing, and that is overturned.
I mean, yeah, I can't believe he didn't review that straight away. He actually went and asked his partner.
Yeah.
He's hit it so well, he didn't even realise he hit it.
Yeah, which is a bit weird. Anyway, so that's not out. Damn, that's my money. It's still at the bookies. A free in. Next ball. Oh, that's got to be out though. Yes, that one is. Exactly the same. Don't think he hit that one. And I think that's closer than the last one. Basically, it's not the quickest, 84 miles an hour. He's not going to review that. Oh, he's going to have a think about reviewing
I
that
think
one.
he will
too.
have a look at this one, because I think this might have been outside the line.
Yeah.
Man, it's
Yeah.
all go here. He has. He's gone for a review again.
I think that this is a little bit shorter. I don't think it's swung, but you know, it's definitely in the ballpark.
I don't think they'll lose a review for that, because if anything, it'll be umpire's call.
Well, Reyes Masmas, someone put some money in his back pocket because, I don't know.
Was it you?
It wasn't me. But he's given 2 out and 2. The first one's come smashing off the face of the bat. That one, oh no, I think that is in line.
I think that's bounced. It's bounced outside leg stump.
Do you think so? I thought it was just
Yeah.
about in line. I think it's
think
going
so.
on to hit leg stump. But it could be the angle of the camera. Sometimes the angle of the camera's just over to one side of the wicket.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's not hit this one. He's definitely, no, he's definitely not hit this one.
I just don't think there's any swing here. I think this is bounced outside leg stump.
Well, we're going to have a look.
We'll go to ball tracking.
Ball tracking. No, it's pitched in line, mate.
Oh no,
It's going on to hit
club.
leg stump. That's
It's
out. Yeah, that is out this time. Finn Allen survived one, lost the next one, and we have to say goodbye to Finn Allen.
The crowd says you're out.
Always a danger with Shaheen Afridi. That's what he does. I mean, does present opportunities to hit him.
Yeah.
If you like the ball swinging into your pads, but you've got to hit it. Otherwise, if you miss, he generally does hit. And Finn Allen goes for 4. So after his blasting innings that basically knocked Australia out of the tournament, he's done sod all since then, hasn't he?
Yeah, just about.
Just about. But
Don't
that-
forget to get your next one on, Bear.
Well, yeah.
I think that's sort of his role, though, isn't it? He's the kind of punt, if you like. It's the opposite of what Pakistan do, where they go for 2 pretty boring players by T20 standards at the top of the order, albeit good. New Zealand have got stability at number 3, haven't they? They've got a guy who, well, bats like it's a test match, so you might as well throw a wild card up there and rely on
And
Williamson to steady the ship.
He did all right. He made 16 against England and 32 against Ireland. So,
Yeah.
and 32 from an opener's fine if they're at reasonable speed.
Yeah. Williamson's strike rate 118.9. It's not stratospheric. But if he does stay there for the whole innings, I'm sure he'll speed up at the end and get it up there. We'll give him a jingle in a second after he's faced his first ball. Afridi is going to come in and just a little bit shorter than the full ones to Finn Allen, and Kane Williamson just knocks it out square on the leg side and there's no run. Exciting first over. We've had an appeal overturned and we've had one given out. 5 for 1. We've only had four balls and it's taken 6 minutes.
Annie Chay's with us. She says how exciting, not only about the cricket, but about the prospect of some special surprise we're doing at the end of this game.
Oh yes, it's
What
all
are we doing?
lined up, ready to go. No, it's not live. It's the start of something new.
It's related to my background.
Yeah.
And Leah says hello. Farong says greetings from Banani. Hope everything's going well. Mog says, wait, is this tourney still going? Didn't India already win?
No. Conway knocks his first ball out to the offside. To Babur Azam, who's at cover, but they get through for a single. 1 ball left in the first over, 6 for 1. Exciting first over. Standing umpire for Ray Erasmus. Who's at the other end? Do we see? Must be the big boys for the semis, isn't it?
I shall tell you in a second.
Ooh.
It is Richard Illingworth.
Okay. computer's...
Yeah, there
I
he
can
is.
guarantee
with his
you
goatee.
won't be a Zimbabwean. Oh, my screen's going blank.
So was mine.
I do hope it's not the...
Oh, it's back.
Something's going on with... Weird shit's going on in the studio. That's left alone through to the keeper, and that is no run. I do hope that the internet's not about to crap out.
Oh, Jesus. Jay Grover says, morning all. 1 week into my post-Halloween sobriety, and I feel 10 years younger. So about 76 as opposed to 86. Mog, if you bat first and fuck it up, you can always blame it on the bowlers, which is a good way to go. And, oh, fuck, it keeps moving. Warren, who's our man at the ground. He's flown all the way from the US to be at the SCG and then the MCG on Sunday. So
Oh, wow.
Okay, I can't hear the Guerrilla Cricket Radio broadcast. To tell you the truth, I can't hear myself think. Jay says, bloody hell, Jack's got a big telly. And Josie Oak says, morning, not really got a dog in this race here. Fancied Pakistan. Anindo is with us, says, recommended strategy, leave Kane alone, take the rest. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Well, I think that's quite dangerous. I do think he can speed up. He does have all the shots. He's a 360 player when he gets going. If he gets some confidence.
He really gave it to Ireland, didn't he?
Well,
Oh, yeah. And we got no score on YouTube, Bear. I don't know if that's fixable.
oh, it says match yet to begin. Yeah, something's not happening going right here. Because it is working. I shall try and fix that. Conway plays the first ball, lets it low. The new bowler is Nazim Shah. Let me give you Kane's jingle.
The Kiwi told me long ago, there's no one better than Marty Crow. I know it's really great, but tell me, I want to know, have you ever seen Kane laying strokes every which way?
Could be a problem with... oh no, there we go. It's come up. Phew! Technical issues this morning. Technical
Yeah,
issues.
you're listening to tech support on
Yeah.
Cricket.
It's all going off. I thought I had it all sorted. I did some of it on Sunday after the game. It's the problem when you don't have the game every day. You forget what you got to do when you come in. And you go, oh shit, I haven't done that. Oh shit, I haven't done that.
That's called short-term memory loss, I think.
Wow.
He's match fitness. He's lost some match fitness.
Exactly.
That's,
Yeah.
You've got to be playing every day, you know. Nazim Shah is in. It's shorter of a length, and Conway just knocks it square on the offside, and there's no run. The bowler is...
When the sea shall let's go, he said to his dad that you're the man of the house now, because Nazim Shah is just that good.
Is he 20 yet? Nazim Shah must be about 21 now, isn't he?
Yeah, the ballpark.
'Cause he started, what, he came over for that test series in England, didn't he, at the end of the pandemic? Or,
Yeah, I think he went to Woz as well, didn't he, when he was 17?
yeah, something
He's
like that.
19 years and 267 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's been pulled nicely by Devon Conway. Fourth ball of the over, dropped a little bit short and pulled square. And it'll be the second one of these of the day. Nice shot, swivel pulled, it was a bit aerial. Maybe didn't get up as high as he thought it was going to do. He seems to be crouching into the shot, but got enough on it. There is a man out square, but he's too square. And it beats him to the boundary. As the flames go up in the air. He does look rather baby-faced, doesn't he, Nazim Shah?
Yeah. Jonathan Shawlan's with us, says greetings from New Zealand.
Greetings from New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand? It's a couple of hours ahead of you, isn't it? Well, no,
Well, it's about 5 hours ahead of me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's got away with that as Conway. Nazim Shah's
Wow.
delivered 88-mile-an-hour delivery. It's into Conway's body. He defends it reasonably comfortably, but he gets one of those ones that comes down off the bat and dribbles back towards the stumps. He didn't know where it was. It looked like it was going to go back onto his leg stump. And it might have shaded it, but didn't have enough pace on it to knock the bail off. And it was only a very fine edge on the stump if it was. And of course, with the Zing bails, they're quite heavy. Maybe it wouldn't have knocked them off anyway.
I think the stump might have actually flashed.
I don't think it
Very
did.
close.
It was very close. Last
Coat
ball,
of varnish.
indeed. Second over.
Yeah.
10 for 1. Down the track comes Conway.
Oh.
Hits it over the top of mid wicket. Didn't get all of it. Got enough of it though. It's chased down to the boundary fruitlessly. As it makes its way for another 4.
2 plus 2 is our man. 2 plus 2 is our man.
It's a bit breathless in his first 2 overs. Everyone looks a bit panicky. In the New Zealand side, desperate to get off to a good start. And that ends the second over. 12 for 1 over to you, Messi.
Farong says Illingworth most closely resembles which Guerrilla Cricket crew member? Well, I just had a look at his photo. Chris Dealey sprang to mind actually, but that was from his playing days, so I'm not sure now. Ombre Nuova says, morning wonderful Guerrilla Cricket, exciting to hear new news. Yes, you wait till the end of the game. Those of you who remember the birthday game might find some familiarity with what we're going to offer, but it's good fun, I can promise you. And Ombre Nuova reminds me that it is good time to get into the IPL, the GPL. Go to guerrillacricket.com/competition, and £41 is there to be won just by guessing today's score for a modest fee of £1.
Oh, that's aerial. Played nicely by Williamson. Well, maybe not enough. Drove it with not enough force through the covers. It was aerial for a while, but split the fielders, made itself out to the boundary, gets himself 2 runs, moves on to 4 of 3 deliveries. Oh, there's a 3, that's well run. Conway will take up strike. Didn't quite hit that sweetly as he'd like to have done, one presumes.
I think it might be sticking in the pitch a little bit.
Well, possibly. I mean, there's been a couple of 200 scores on this pitch. I was listening to whoever was yapping at the beginning of the game, and they were saying it's a bit marbled today and there's a few cracks, and they reckon 160, 170 may well be a decent score today. I think it was Pollock. Was it Pollock?
Yeah,
Could
Sean
be.
Pollock.
Sean Pollock was.
Sounds like the sort of person that would be doing the comms.
Yeah, exactly. They're all there, aren't they? Getting their pension pots. Conway's going to face up to Shaheen Afridi into his second over. It's full. It's on the pads. That's got to be out.
Ooh.
Surely. Wow. Maybe
Going
not.
down.
Maybe no swing. Maybe it's going down. I'd be tempted to do a review on that.
I've
They
got it
don't
going
seem
down.
very interested.
They don't seem very interested.
He's marching back to his end of his run.
They look close to me. No, they seem to be implying it's
I
going
thought
down
drifting
leg.
down.
Well, it is going down. Oh, actually, it's going the other way, isn't it? Yes, and it's hit him in line with leg. If it had been his normal in-swinger to the right-hander, it would have probably swung back in to hit leg, middle, and leg. But it seemed to be
Not
the one.
getting a lot of swing there.
No, well, that seemed to be the one that it directed down, wasn't it? It was going across what would have been a right-hander. That's into the slot, driven nicely by Conway, but straight to mid-on. And no time. Reasonable start by New Zealand here. They did look a bit frantic. But they've only lost the 1 wicket. And they're on 17, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, they'll want to hit one of the next 3 overs probably for 50.
Yeah, they want to be on
And
sort
if
of
they
40,
do that, they'll be happy.
yeah, 45, 50 out of the power play. And see where it goes from there. Freedy in, down the track comes Conway, has to adjust, and adjust well. Ends up pulling it out to deep square leg. I think it'll be a single. There is a man out there, one of the 2 fielders in the deep. Obviously only 2 men out. Presumably one's down at around about 3rd man, and the other one is out deep square, long leg. 67 metres and 61 metres at 3rd man and fine leg. Long boundary straight 84 metres, which is pretty long. Square 73 and 60 is pretty short. And presumably
You'd think for a semi-final they could have got one in the middle, so it was equal either side, wouldn't you?
well, yeah, you'd have thought so. Presumably new wickets for both semis and new wicket for final. Not going to use a used one, are they? That's a length ball, guided nicely by Kane Williamson. In Kane Williamson fashion, down to 3rd man, and it'll be a single. Buzz back in, good throw. 19 for 1, Pakistan. New Zealand. Coming to the end of the 3rd over. Williamson is 5 off 4. Devon Conway is 10 off 10. See, is that just for the World Cup strike rate? 117.5 for Devon Conway.
That's just the World Cup, yeah.
That's just the World Cup, yeah. Usually it's about 130s. A lot of people seem to be in the 130s. With the exception of Sky, who's been striking at 190 or something in his World Cup.
Oh, just amazing. He's a
been
different
amazing.
league.
He is the man that we're going to have to counter tomorrow. England know that as well. Slower ball, I think.
Oof.
An appeal by Afridi. Yeah, I think it was inside edge onto pad and bounced back up the track. It's only 77 miles an hour. Ends that over, 19 for 1.
Mog says if they aren't going to use those stupid flame jets to incinerate stupid batsmen or trouble-making fan, what's the fucking point of them? Yeah, they were on top of the sight screen in Perth, and when it wasn't in use as a sight screen, they were advertising Aramco on it, which is the fucking Saudi Arabian oil company, which promotes itself by promoting recycling and then fucking firing useless jets with black smoke up.
Exactly.
Grace says
made out of pure Aramco oil.
Yes. Flame jet Marius Erasmus for Grace. And Brian 001, who I got a delivery from yesterday, thank you so much, Brian, says, morning all from a crisp and sunny Northampton. That's unusual. As an Aussie, I'm torn here. Who to back? Kiwis to keep the cup down south, but can I bring myself to back New Zealand? Oh,
I don't know. Right, this man's coming into the attack. He's been wonderful this tournament. Don't forget to hit for 2 sixes of Kohli in that extraordinary game against India. First ball though is in the slot, driven nicely, half stopped at mid-on. Would have been a certain 4 otherwise. Nicely timed by Kane Williamson. I'll get back for 2. Of course, the big news overnight is that the Democrats might have just about held on to some shit in America, which will be pleasing for me.
Well, it's funny. Angelic Scooters has got a tweet about that I'll read at the end of the over.
What was it? Mehmet Oz lost, which pleased me. He's a fucking useless cunt. Oh, sorry. That came out wrong, but...
well, yes and no.
Fake TV doctor should not be in the Senate. Well, it was like, what's his name? Vance won.
Staris?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The guy
let's go into it. It's too painful, anyhow, all of it.
Well, it's not so painful if they don't lose. So
yeah. The old coughing dodger's still going, isn't
he? Yeah. We'll take the balm that cricket provides.
Well, indeed. Nice evening in Sydney, it has to be said. What's the temperature out there? About 20 odd?
Yeah, about 20 degrees.
Nice. Good cricket playing weather. Williamson's going to face up. 7 off 5. And
Warren says the ground is absolutely packed with Pakistani fans.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Well, it'd be interesting, New Zealand-England final, get some revenge for the South,
I want that to go to the fourth super over, and for New Zealand to win when Hales trips over Owen Morgan's microphone cord.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't have a look at that Twitter thing. When was that interview with Hales, where he completely ignored Owen Morgan?
After the last game.
Yeah, that was quite funny. I'm not surprised. He must hate him. And now he has no control over his life. He's free to ignore him. I don't know what's going on. They're not bowling balls.
There's a bloke sitting on the gangway instead of in his seat.
Jesus.
Getting away the batsman. Williamson phasing out. Harris Ralph comes in. Decent length ball. You can't do anything with it. Just knocks it out square. That's a mid-wicket on the leg side. No run. Maybe jabbed in a little bit. Wicket looks quite green, I have to say. So there's a bit of grass on it.
Yeah.
It's been a good tournament,
there you go.
I reckon. It's been fun.
Yeah, apart from the weather.
Apart from the weather, yeah. Wrong time of year to be playing, I suppose.
Yeah.
If they'd have played this in January and it had been really hot and the wickets have been really hard, it would probably been much more fun. But hey, got to have the big bash. Ralph is in, clipped nicely by Kane Williamson out square on the leg side.
Then you'd be moaning it was too easy for the batters.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it ever would be in Australia because they still have the big boundaries. You're still going to get the miss hits, and that's what I like about it. You're going to get these guys who are used to playing on 65-metre boundaries trying to slap it out of the ground. with miss hits and getting it wrong and getting caught in the deep. And I think that adds enough for the bowlers to make it a little bit fairer.
Williamson and Kettleborough are getting really angry with people just being allowed to wander past the side screen.
Yeah, and they look like two officials from the ground as well, with their lanyards
better.
on. They should know better, exactly. Ralph in. Conway plays that straight back down the ground. It will be fielded by mid-off. They'll get a single. At some point, I'll go for a run out.
Probably
Pakistan or New
are
Zealand?
batting.
Well,
Yeah,
I definitely
was
will when
thinking
Pakistan
that.
are batting, but I think any time after 10th over, I mean, if they offer you odds like 22 to 1, I got 2 in the last 2 matches, and my betting account went from about 200 quid up to nearly 400 quid in the space of 2 games with 2 run-outs. So it's quite profitable. As we look at the field placing, what's that point, backward point? Yeah, umbrella field on the offside. Ralph in. Driven by Kane Williamson up to extra cover. There's no run. That should end that over, shouldn't it? Score
No, normally
one left.
it's a 6. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're a Zimbabwean umpire.
Well, yeah. And I thought it said 3.5 before he bowled. That's the thing. But
They're
no,
quite
no.
quick on that on the Kieran. I've got an equivalent of a run out bet. I've got $20 on the Democrats to retain control of the Senate at 10 to 1,
Ooh,
which
that's-
may come in.
It may come in. It was looking that way. They may even pick up one by the looks of things from what I was reading this morning. It might be 51-49, which would be a real blow for the fucking twat Trump.
It's going to require a runoff in Georgia, probably.
Stacey Abrahams. Hopefully she wins. 23 for 1 as we come to the end of the 4th over. Harris Ralph has 1 ball left in it. He's bowling to Kane Williamson. He delivers now. It's full in the block hole. He can't do anything with it. Fields off his own bowling. Only 4 off the over. Good over from Harris Ralph. 23 for 1 after 4. Not a great, not speedy start by New Zealand, but they'll be happy not to have lost wickets. Over to you, Messi.
Angelic Scooter says, evening all to the magnificent Guerrilla Cricket community, and bless you and cricket for saving me from torturing myself watching the American election results. Been looking forward to this all week. Here's hoping the winner smashes tomorrow's winner. Leah says, I think the ICC really wouldn't want an England-New Zealand final. That's certainly true. And TK Nandi, in response to Anindo, says they may need Kane today. Armchair Cricket Podcast says Conway is not a happy starter against short pitch bowling. Something Pakistan seems to have planned to have Nasim Shah and Ralph target his body at the start. And Scooter says, to be fair, it's not the Big Bash stopping this being held in January. It's the fact New Zealand and South Africa, not to mention Pakistan and potentially others, would never allow such a large bite to be taken into their prime domestic season. Yeah, I think it should be held in February and March like they did with the Women's World Cup and they did with the ODI World Cup in 2000.
And you not get so much weather. So you don't get so much weather at the, yeah, but then it would tip into the IPL, wouldn't it?
No,
And that
wouldn't
would
it?
never happen. On leg side by Wazim, it's pulled down to short fine leg man on the 45. Can't beat him. So Conway will only get a single.
This would be the over they try something, New Zealand.
You'd have thought they've got to try something in the power play. You need to get 1 over in there where you can get 16, 17. Just to push it along a bit, you'd hope. But Pakistan have done well so far, keeping them down. A couple of 4s in the second over, but that was it. Conway's only still 12 or 13. I mean, they can accelerate. I suppose he's got wickets in hand. Wazim in. It's clipped. Doesn't beat the man on the 45. Good stop because it was a ball that was angling down leg side. Not the greatest delivery. Kane might feel he missed out a little bit there.
Both of those balls should have gone, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, good fielding, which isn't something synonymous with Pakistan. Let's be honest. The bowler is, sorry.
Mohammed Wazim Jr. played for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and the thing his heart desires is to be a star.
He comes in third ball, sorry. Oh, inside edge, goes down to the man on the 45. Oh, there's a direct hit from man on the 45. But David Conway was well in, non-striker's end. And they'll get yet another single. I've got 3 runs before I miss my second under. Which isn't surprising. It's hard to get 2 or 3 in at the top of the order. Occasionally it happens. Yeah, he was well past the stumps when the ball hit them. 3 ball left in this configuration. Then we're going to have a little switcheroo. Bennett's going to come in to give you some commentary for the second 5 overs. Andy's going to join me in the studio.
Good.
Wazim is knocked square on a leg side. There is a man out in the deep, and they'll get 2. 5 of the first 4 balls of this over. Only 28 for 1. Run rate 6. Not what New Zealand would have wanted.
No. Josie Oak says, in memory of the late Leslie Phillips, I think the phrase ding dong should be used frequently in commentary today.
Yeah, someone pointing out on WhatsApp, I thought he died yonks ago, man.
Well, he was 96 or something.
He was a carry-on geezer. That's hit sweetly square by Kane Williamson. Again, straight to the man at the deep square, who fumbles it a little bit. He does get it back in, and it's only a single. We'll have 1 more ball left in this configuration. We'll be joined by Bennett. Babar Azam is encouraging his team. Of course, we still could get the fabled Pakistan-India final. Now, wouldn't that be something? That'd be mayhem.
Absolute, yes.
So
And
if it
I
rained
tell
off for
Andy
2 what happens if
that-
what happens if it is rained off for 2 days?
Well, then
Wazim
it's
comes in.
funny.
Oh, no, there's a half a peel. He missed the pull, did Conway. Hit him high up on the thigh, though. There's a half a peel for LBW. It won't be LBW. It'll be a leg by. I think that 1. So it must have got a little bit of inside edge before it came off his thigh. 7 off the over. We're going to have a switcheroo. Bennett is going to join us. Thanks, guys. We'll see you
Thank
later. Morning, Bennett.
Andy,
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are you all doing today? And welcome to all you listeners, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, greetings. And thank you for joining Gorilla Cricket. My name is Bennett Olagusegram. I'm joined for this commentary by with Bear and Andy. Is it right? Keeping me company for the next 5 overs. And this is the first semi-final, in case you just joined in. New Zealand winning the toss in the all-important semi-final. Remember, there is no rain-off days on this game. New Zealand winning the toss.
It's a reserve day.
Sorry, what's that? There is a reserve day, but if both days get rained off.
No, that's only for the final. That's reserved day.
Yeah. It's not a reserve day for these games. It's plugged in. It'll take time to charge up.
New Zealand sort of trying to steady the early loss of Finn Allen, isn't it, Bear? They're 30 for 1 at the end of 5.
Yep, and that's You're commentating?
Yes, I'm indeed. Raf comes in, and the next ball of the 6th over is played beautifully by Devon Conway over the extra cover region for one of these.
2 + 2 is a remember.
6. No, it was 4.
It's 4, isn't it?
Yeah, the TV flashed up 6, but it
the
bounced
TV
well
flashed
inside
up
the
6.
boundary.
For a moment, I thought it was a 6, but it's not. I got it right on the first occasion. So it's a boundary there. A welcome start for New Zealand in the 6th over. Conway slowly but surely moving along. 18 off 16. Rough bowls outside the off stump on a good length. Conway dabs it just in front of extra cover, and the batsmen go through for a quick 1. Bear, what do you think is a good score in these conditions?
Well, I mean, I think you've got to be competitive, haven't you? I mean, you've got to make sure you get to around about 160 and hope that you can get more than that. And if you can get 180, I think you're massively in the game. But even at 160, 165,
do you
fancy the chances?
Why did New Zealand decide to bat first?
I think in competition like this, unlike in tourneys, endless tournaments that go on around the world.
Yes, and that's an over-pitch delivery just outside the off stump, and Williamson goes and tries to sort of play towards the onside, times it nicely, and the batsman go through for a single. I mean, Williamson looking very good in terms of timing, technique, the way he always plays in the V with a straight bat, certainly looking very, very nice from a point of view of elegance. But if he will do well to play the anchor, I mean, he's indicating to Devin Conway. There's a bit of a shape on that delivery. He says to him to watch out. Conway is the aggressor. He started off the World Cup campaign in great fashion earlier on, but not really produced those best innings since we saw that 100 earlier on. This one's a shortish delivery played towards the long leg, deep square leg area on the back foot, and the batsmen do come back for 2. New Zealand 38 for 1. Bear.
Yeah.
An interesting. Sorry, Bear. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I think teams bat first when it comes to these. I think the idea of putting scoreboard pressure and getting the other team to panic. You know, if you can come out and keep them quiet in the power play and then get them up around 10 and over. You know, in a must-win situation, we've seen teams panic. Wickets fall and then it all falls away.
As Rav comes in, this one's on the leg stump. Conway unable to get him away, plays it back to the bowler, no chance of a run. Yeah, but in a must-win game, experimenting, if that's what they're planning to do, may not be the ideal way. But I hear your point, Bear. But on
I don't think it's experimenting.
I'm just going to say that's what does happen, but it's not what should happen.
Carry on. Exactly. But I think it's human nature, isn't it? I think you get put under a little bit of pressure. And then everyone thinks they've got to score quicker than they have to necessarily. You know, I mean, we saw it. Ben Stokes the other day was the only calm man in the England side, and they only had to chase 140.
Completely incorrect.
Absolutely.
Well, what you mean? They batted incorrectly? Or?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Well, we'll come back to that in a second. This one's outside the off stump.
That's
a beautiful throw, and the Pakistan fielders seem to think they've got it. It's Shadab Khan again. What can he not do with bat, ball, and on the field? Conway playing it towards the mid-off area and trying to steal a single in front of the energetic Shadab Khan, who comes in and throws the stumps down. Pakistan are confident that they've got their wicket, and it's gone up to the third umpire for review, and it's tense moments for the Kiwi supporters as Conway, who was looking to break free, has been looked into to see whether he's out. Shadab Khan picks the ball clean and throws it beautifully onto the stumps, and as we see the replay, yes, he is gone. He's a goner for the brilliant fielding display of Shadab Khan. New Zealand
don't put a dive in the World Cup semi-final.
Wow, you'd have thought. Probably didn't expect it to hit. Anyway, it's another wicket.
It's another wicket. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Another one bites the dust.
Oh.
I think that's going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Right, let me do some tweets, please.
Go on.
Yeah, Messages confirms there is a reserve day for the semi-finals. I thought there was, but there's no rain around today or tomorrow, but there might be at the weekend. Dr. Soothsayer, not a fan of Stacey Abrams, nor am I. Did Herschel Walker win? Do you know?
I don't know. I think that's one of the ones I haven't seen.
Because that's a bit of a mad one.
Yeah, I might not be a fan of her, but she's a Democrat, and I can't stand. And Herschel Walker's a fucking lion toe rag, so.
He's incredible. Nestle Boy, I'm sorry to hear you have COVID, Nestlers, but he says one upside is I can listen all day. Josie Oak, in memory of the late Leslie Phillips, I think the phrase ding dong should be used frequently in commentary today. Angelic Scooters, not the Big Bash stopping this being held in January. It's New Zealand and South Africa wouldn't allow such a large bite into their domestic season. I'm not sure how much sway New Zealand and South Africa have, so I'm not sure about that.
Going the wrong way.
No, I know I am.
Oh, okay.
Is that's more or less up to date? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the end of the power play here. At the end of 6 overs, New Zealand in all kinds of trouble here as the new man comes into the wicket is Glenn Phillips. He's been awesome, hasn't he, Bear?
Well,
this is what Glenn's got from Bear.
Well, let's see. Let's have a jingle.
By the bad, loved by the good. Glenn Phillips, Glenn Phillips, Glenn Phillips.
Certainly. Here's a man who could take it away from him.
He is the Superman, isn't he? Who can bat.
I think he's running a bit hot this tournament.
Yeah,
he bowls.
He was dropped early on in both those big innings.
He bowls occasional off spin and is a Superman in the field. And we see a change in the bowling. The man with the mission who's brought Pakistan thus far. Shadab Khan is with the ball, flighted outside the off stump, and Glenn Phillips just dabs it on the offside, and the batsmen go through for a single. Glenn Phillips is an interesting cricketer, isn't he? He bowls offies. He's better known for his batting. He's a Superman in the field, and certainly he keeps wickets too. I was reading an article about him, of how he had to control his speed because it almost led to his downfall. He was explaining how he and his brother enjoyed fielding so much that his dad used to give them fielding practices instead of batting or bowling. and that shows how electric he's on the field. This one's floated on Midland leg. Williamson looking for 2 there as he jabs it towards the mid-wicket area, and the batsman settle for 1.
Let's have a little jingle for Shut Up. Hold on.
What's the matter, you? Show a little respect. Peleg is spitting his heart, but he turns it off at the deck. Oh, he's not too bad. He's always got a plan.
Shut Up comes in. This one shortish outside the off stump. Phillips on the back foot rockets and plays it beautifully into the deep cover area for a boundary, and Phillips is off. A 5 off 2, looking good. Shut Up Khan, shortish delivery there outside the off stump, and the ball was he was bowling the leg break there indeed, Bear, and a boundary.
Yeah, it didn't really turn.
Didn't turn. This is what he went.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I mean it'll be Pakistan will do well to get Glenn Phillips out. He's the man in form. Although I must admit, when he scored that century, Sri Lanka dropped a very easy catch earlier on in the innings, so he's a little bit vulnerable early on in his innings, so getting him early will do them good, but he's the man in form. And this one's a leggy again outside the off stump, moving away. Phillips on the back foot, watchfully plays it into the point area where Iftikhar Ahmed feels no chance of a run. New Zealand perhaps maybe wondering whether they made the right decision on this wicket, Bear. 44 for 2.
Yeah. I mean, what they're predicting 168. Who does it depend on? Phillips, really, I suppose.
Yeah, they got Glenn Mitchell. To come. Daryl Mitchell to come, but he's not been in great form, hasn't he? So that's another delivery. Goes a dot ball from Shut Up Khan, and he's given away 6 runs at the over. 7 overs gone. 44 for 2. New Zealand.
Yeah, Yoel says the race between Warnock and Walker is tight and could be a runoff. What that means is nobody gets 50%.
Yeah.
Like the third party got 2%, and then they'll have to do it again. Cricket takes, is Mohammed Yusuf the only cricketer to change his name? Probably not, but I can't give you another one off the top of my head. Dr. Dan Diper, a sketch of Finn Allen. Armchair Cricket Podcast. No doubt Shadab Khan has been Pakistan's MVP. Agree. He's a truly 3D cricketer, and now he gets one in the field. Mog says taking that run was a poor choice. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, Mog.
Yes.
Yeah, New Zealand certainly would have wanted Devon Conway to be there. He was the aggressor for them, scores quickly. Ken Williamson looking to play the anchor. We'll come back to that in a second. It's been a very controversial topic in the studio here, not only here, but across our viewers. We like to hear your views. Keep Andy busy with those tweets coming in. Do you think you need an anchor or someone who can play a 360 game and keep one end going like the Williamson type, Steve Smith's type? Come on, guys. Let's get the tweets in. A shortish delivery, and Williamson wristily on the back foot plays it between the gaps, looking for 2. He played that deliberately, rather sort of without much intent there, looking for the second run, unfortunately, which is not there. The new ball is Mohammad Nawaz. Have you got a jingle for him?
Yeah,
in the
we
studio?
do. Let me just find it. There it is.
The left arm all-rounder, Mohammad Nawaz, bowling his first
The winter
over.
of our discontent made glorious summer by this sun
of Pakistan.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing about T20s, you don't need someone who goes. You need a 360 cricketer, and I don't mind someone who anchors an innings, but they can't go along at 100. They have to go along at quicker than that.
Also depends slightly on the balance of your team.
Yeah.
That was a close call there, as the ball was hit quite straight back to the bowler, and Nawaz was. I actually found Williamson outside the crease, but he didn't release the ball in time.
Don't know why he didn't.
A difficult one.
And his bat got stuck in the ground when he was trying to put it back, so it ended up short. He'd have had plenty of time to get him out. If it had gone back
That would have
onto
been
the
a
stump.
disaster for New Zealand, but they survived. Nawaz bowls, left arm over, floated on the leg stump. Phillips again nudging it, looking for the second one. Williamson doesn't want another run out. Immediately is not interested and says no. Yes, that would have been close. Oh, his bat got stuck there.
He's got stuck in the ground, yeah. So he'd have been well out. You know,
He would
time to
have been
probably
a
walk back
goner.
and
He would have been a goner there. Absolutely. Nawaz knew the opportunity was missed. It was a tough one. He should have had the presence of mind to know where the non-striker was. And it's difficult because he was coming on his follow-through, trying to pick up the ball. Everything happening here in the Sydney grounds. Ladies and gentlemen, what a finale of cricket. And Williamson dabs this one again between the two fielders there. Good cricket there. Good fielding. Over pitch delivery. Williamson jabs it between the mid-wicket fielders and they come back for 2. Good cricket there. Williamson, clever man. He's been around for a long time. He's steered New Zealand cricket from where it was left by Brendan McCullum and to become Test Championship. They've slowly but surely crept into most finals in one-day internationals and T20 cricket. Can they make a big upset here in Australia? This one's overpitched
They were
again.
favourites before the game.
Williamson plays it towards the square leg area and the batsmen go through for a quick single at the end of 8. New Zealand winning the toss. Oh,
It's a
sorry,
ball
one
to
more
go.
There's a
ball
ball to
left
come.
remaining. Ball to come, my apologies. So 49 for 2 here. Bear, are they looking good here, New Zealand?
Yeah, I think they'd like to be going on a little bit quicker, but I mean, this is the thing. I mean, if Williamson does stay there, I mean, I'm not entirely sure about the anchor role in T20, but if Phillips gets going, then he'll be quite happily returning the strike to Phillips and letting Phillips go, big.
Oh, this gone! That's a beautiful delivery by Nawaz. He floated it, almost a commentator's curse there. As Bear was describing how important Phillips' wicket is, that was floated. Phillips trying to work the ball on the onside and the ball just dropped on him and he results in playing it straight back into the gleeful hands of Nawaz, who completes an easy cotton ball catch. New Zealand lose their 3rd wicket with the score on 49. In all kinds of trouble here after winning the toss.
Top
And
edge, for fuck's sake. Oh, no, he's out. Excellent. Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh, no, he's out. Excellent. Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh, no, he's out. Excellent.
I think
And
New
they got in
Zealand,
tweets.
yeah, I think New Zealand are in big trouble here.
Yeah, I do as well.
Their middle order hasn't scored any runs. They got Williamson, who's just going to tick along at run a ball, not doing anything. Not too good for them. Good for me because I bet Pakistan. I thought the favourites should have been the other way around this morning.
Well, for the sake of cricket, I don't think if Pakistan come through, we might have a one-sided game in the final.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think that at all. I think Pakistan are better than New Zealand, quite frankly. Leah can't be talking about the same person. I met Walker, he was an astronaut. No, he was an American footballer, hence the concussions and all the things he says.
Yeah, totally anti-abortion and has paid for 2 at least.
Yeah, well, he was not the only one as that.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Trump obviously paid people for abortions. He wouldn't answer the question. Angelic Scooter says, bloody hell, Matt Hayden's almost unrecognisable. Guess time destroys us all, but he's still a fat hypocrite, so you've got that. An Armchair Cricket podcast has tweeted that just in time, I think, but a prophetic tweet. That one's played back to the bowler, sorry. He says, Shadab Khan v Phillips is the game-defining battle. Well, Shadab Khan's just won it. Oh no, Nawaz won it.
Well, Nawaz won it, yeah.
Shadab Khan bowls the next over, and certainly Pakistan with their tail up, that run out certainly causing all kinds of trouble here for them as this one's floated. New Zealand looking to break away. Williamson plays it towards the mid-wicket area and the batsmen go through for single. I mean, gentlemen, what I was trying to imply earlier was that Pakistan, certainly they may look like a better side on paper, but it depends. Some games they come in and they play totally indifferent cricket, don't they? Like we see it in the previous World Cup.
It's the proverbial mercurial, it's a bit of a cliche, isn't it, and a stereotype that Pakistan are a bit mercurial, but they can be,
That's what I remember watching a World Cup semi-final where the game was just like it was gone in the space of 15 overs for the poor cricket lovers.
If can I just say, if you're playing against a really good team like India, I'd rather have someone who's either really hot or really cold than just moderate and not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. You've got. I mean, this is it. It defines a team. You've got to take your chance, haven't you? When a chance arrives, and when you're in a semi-final, you've got to be ballsy enough to take it.
Absolutely. Shadab comes in. This is a leggy outside the off stump, and the New Zealanders haven't learned from their lesson, have they? He jabs it on the extra cover area and steals a quick single in front of Iftikhar Ahmed's eyes, and that would have been a goner as well.
I don't think it
had
would.
the ball hit the stumps, would have been a close call.
Would have been close.
Would have been close. So New Zealand living dangerously here, perilously close run out there. This one's outside the off stump. A leggy there turning away from the right hand, and Williamson. Yeah, like going back to what you were saying, Bear, Williamson's there is going to plod along, run a ball, and Darrell Mitchell's on the other side. Yes, they may have been a close call if the ball had hit.
Close as you like. Would have been very, very close.
Shadab comes in. This one's again Williamson looking to play it on the onside crystally, and the batsmen go through for 152 for 3 at the end of over 9. New Zealand in all kinds of trouble, deciding to bat first after winning the toss. Andy, what have you got for us?
Yeah, Leah does confirm. She meant Kelly from Arizona, who was an astronaut and visited their school with the full crew of the space shuttle, which must have been something, I guess. Have a look on YouTube. Colin Suter, hello Colin. Pokebomb Finger is there as usual, and they're doing most of the chat on there. Colin says New Zealand showed all their cards in the opening game.
Well,
right, thank you, Andy.
They did. I mean, New Zealand have got to get a score that they think they can defend, and from here, they're 52 for 3 after 9. If they can get, I don't know, 160.
Yeah, well, they've got to go 10 and over from here to get that, and there's no intent to do that. There's no intent to do that at the moment. I think Pakistan are going to sneak in some more cheap overs, and New Zealand will post 150 at best.
Well, let's see what the line says.
See, the thing is, they've always had one of the top 3 sort of getting big runs for them. Is it all been Glenn Phillips? Either it was Devon Conway. Finn Allen always got a good start for them when they got going. So the middle order is not tested as much. This is a great opportunity for Mitchell, who was their hero in a previous World Cup. This one's played on the onside, and the batsmen go through for a quick single. He's not been in the best of form, has he, gentlemen, this World Cup? Or he hasn't had the opportunity, at least.
Well, this is interesting.
He's had opportunities, just hasn't scored any runs.
Well, the line is 140.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
I'm tempted to go over that. Wow. Still got...
It's Mohammad Nawaz, the all-rounder, the utility all-rounder for Pakistan. He's put the brakes on the New Zealand batting here. This one's a full toss, and Mitchell dancing down the track and not able to get the elevation or the power that he actually wanted, but playing it along the ground, and the batsman go through for a single. Yeah, it'll be important. I mean, wickets certainly put the brakes on the batting, and Mitchell and Williamson will take some time. Williamson's been there for a while. He doesn't look like he's going to break free from his usual style. Let's see what happens. Mohammad Nawaz, left arm over, here he comes in. This one's over pitched on the leg stump. Williamson again plays it towards to the long on area, and the batsman goes through for one.
I mean,
what are your thoughts?
Well, they've got to hope that Mitchell and Santner are big hitters, and Mitchell and Santner have not
Neesham is there
I mean, Neesham, that's what I meant, not Santner. They're the guys who, if they're going to get I mean, the score predictions now come down to 148. But if they're to get a score, both those two have got to get reasonably big runs. One of them's got to come off large, you'd have thought.
Exactly. Nawaz comes in, over pitch. Williamson dabs it to the mid-wicket area. The batsmen get one. No chance of the second one. Kiwis had a great tournament, and they're really, really good, humble human beings who play their cricket in a very nice style. I love the way they play within themselves. So
nice guys always come last.
Indeed. Look at Pakistan, how they've come through from behind. They had needed some help from Netherlands to get them to this place, but they're here. That's what that matters. Over pitch, and this one Williamson plays it towards the mid-wicket area again, and the batsmen go through for one. Well, Williamson 23 off 24. Yes, Ben.
Well, that's it. Someone, if you're Pakistani, you must think someone's looking down on you, and luck is shining on you after the.
Well, they've got a free roll here, haven't they?
Yeah, really? They have basically, and
nothing against New Zealand, but I am kind of funking for Pakistan, because either way, either England make it or we get India-Pakistan.
And he comes in over pitched, and this one's driven again. That area has been where all the singles have been coming, haven't they? This one's played a little bit rather slowly, and giving the batsman enough time to come back for two. New Zealand winning the toss. It's all important. Semi-final in a bit of a trouble here. 59 for 3 at the end of 10. The batsman at the wicket, Kane Williamson and Darrell Mitchell. It's the end of over number 10.
Time for a change.
It's time for a change.
And he's going to come and sit where I am. I'm going to go make myself a cup of coffee.
Armchair Cricket Podcast asked if promoting Santner would have been a good idea. I think you can overdo the left-hander thing. Santner just isn't as good as Neesham and Mitchell, so that takes priority, I think, Ajit. Cricket takes designated anchor should only be used on good wickets, by which I think he means competitive wickets with something for the bowlers. There aren't any use on roads that are the norm in England. Armchair Cricket Podcast just seems like PAK's day, doesn't it? Well, we'll see. Jay says, went at my parents had a major head fuck, went downstairs after the Allen wicket, and Mum says, thank God Williamson is finally out. Took me a minute. Well, yeah. Right, so Jez is going to come back in. Bennett's going to do some summarising. So where do you see this innings going from here, Bennett?
Well, they will need a partnership, Andy. They'll need a big partnership, and not only that, they'll need to keep wickets intact. And it's a tough call at this stage. I think Pakistan are ahead. They've got advantage, but can they capitalise? They've got some interesting next 5 overs, Andy. To watch.
Very much so. On a little break. We got 3 games to go in this tournament, including this one. And, we're putting a lot of effort in to bring this to you. So you can help us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket, 1R, 2 Ls. You can send us a small amount of money every month, and it really helps a lot. If you go as much as $10 a month, you can get your name up on the little wall of fame in front of us here on Facebook. And, would be very much appreciated.
Certainly would. I noticed we've had a number of entries in the GPL, which is now closed. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 entries going for £45, ranging from 297 runs through to 327 runs.
Okay. Well, all those people will be hoping for at least like 150 for New Zealand then to get that in play. If they're bowled out for 140, the house will always win.
Indeed.
Still on a break, you're not missing anything.
Andy, who do you think are going to end up as a finalist?
I think, there's no certainties, but on balance of probability, if you're talking 55-45, I think we are most likely to get that India-Pakistan final. I think it's going to depend. I think India really should play Chahal tomorrow, possibly even as a third spinner. If they don't, it'll be a bit of a closer game, I think. Well, anything could happen. I mean, the probabilities will be closer.
But do you think they will... Sorry, go on, just...
I was going to say, I quite like England's chances. I think they're starting to get into their groove. I think it could be a disadvantage if they do lose Mark Wood, but even so, I think they're a better chance than the bookies seem to give them credit for.
Yeah, possibly. Shabdab is in. That is punched up to long on. They think about 2, but it's just going to be a single, 60 for 3.
What did the bookies say, Messi? Sorry, I was not following the...
India 55-45 favourites.
Oh, sorry, that's what you said. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Right. Yeah, I mean, for the sake of cricket, I hope we have a cracking game. That's all I'm interested in. I like England to get there. However, from what he's hearing, doesn't seem that way.
Oh, it's in the air. Oh, and somehow that has evaded those 2 fielders at backward point. Shadab Khan doesn't know how. I don't know how. It's somehow looped between them and gone for 4. No, I still don't know how. It's gone past one and short of the other. Not a controlled shot from Mitchell. And somehow it's got through for 4.
New Zealand living dangerously here, Andy. 64 for 3.
They are. Shadab's in again. Oh, that's a terrible ball. It's short, but Mitchell doesn't take advantage. Just clips it up to long on. And it gets a situation where they get 2, but if you were really in a more aggressive mindset, you've been trying to put that in the stand. Nonetheless, Mitchell is on 11 off 7. Williamson doing a Williamson, 24 off 25. You know what you're going to get from him. Little step across, and that's also short. He's clipped it into the leg side. He may have found the gap that time. No, good bit of fielding. Pakistan have been good in the field today, and they're going to keep that one down to 2 as well. But it's not a great over from Shadab so far.
Andy, just a quick observation. We spoke about reserve days. I've just clarified that the reserve day is only there for the final.
Well,
no, that's not correct.
You'll have to thrash that out with Jez.
I've just read the conditions. It's definitely there for the semi-finals here.
Is it so? Okay, so I'm reading something
and
wrong.
And it starts earlier if it's a reserve day too, which is a problem for the final because it looks like Sunday's likely to be washed out and the reserve day will start at 4 a.m. GMT.
Which day is that? Will it be Saturday then? They play the Friday and Saturday?
No, Sunday and Monday if necessary.
It's not in play for these semi-finals. There's no indication of rain. That one is clubbed up towards long on. He's not straight enough. It was catchable distance, but it has just gone straight enough to get past long on for 4.
There's not one boy for me. I must have 2 or 3. I need 4.
Gents, I think we are just crossing the wires here. What I meant was for the semis, there is no reserve day. Final, yes, there's a reserve day.
No, there is a reserve day for both
Is
of
it?
the semis.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, sorry. I
Pushed
apologize
into the
for
offside,
that.
out to deep point. Like I say, academic for the semis. There's no real rain about, but it may come into play for the final. That's a single to the end of the over. It's an unusually expensive one from Shadab. That's gone for 14. Jez.
Imagine Saliar 56 says, I still can't get over his dreadful TV umpire decision in the earlier rounds. That was very unfortunate from the Zimbabwean umpire, wasn't it? You talking one of Erasmus's that was bad, Sally? I can't recall that one specifically. I feel very sorry for that Zimbabwean umpire.
Yeah, it is Erasmus is being referenced there, yes.
Oh, I don't recall that one specifically. I think there is a very strong argument to have specialist TV umpires, to be honest.
It's not that hard, is it?
No, well, you wouldn't think so,
No,
but they
you
seem
wouldn't
to get
think
enough
so.
wrong. Anyhow, that's up to date on Twitter. On YouTube, we've got Sudahu, Stephen Kelk, James Weldon with us. Sudahu says England are favourite to win for the tournament, and that New Zealand showed all their cards in the opening game. Yeah, but they've hung in pretty well. Apart from the game against England, they've done really well, in fact.
Well, they haven't been tested all that much, apart from that game.
No.
Nazim is in, but they've dealt with the lesser sides much better than some of the others have. Gets through for a quick single there because he got an under edge on a pull shot to short fine. Mitchell doing the heavy lifting here. He's on 18 off 10.
But I think it's always good when you have momentum in these sort of games. Pakistan had come from behind. They had to rely on Netherlands beating South Africa. Nobody expected them to be in this party. So they've already spoiled South Africa's campaign. So they're here to make a statement. So they're coming with a lot of intent. So the momentum in these sort of games is very, very important. And I think India have probably building up. England lost a bit of momentum, I would have thought. New Zealand, you can see, they're just waning off at the wrong time.
Well, you can't control that. You just go out and try to win the game. That one is out to deep point, and it'll be a single.
Indeed, but sometimes in these tournaments, it's how you peak as well, isn't it? New Zealand.
But
for
again,
the first time.
how can you plan for that? You can't.
You
can
can't. You can't.
No.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's just how it works. But unfortunately for New Zealand, they are not sort of ascending the way they should go, I guess. But let's see.
Oh, it's all random. It's all just a bunch of stuff that happened.
We want to watch good cricket, don't we, gentlemen,
we
and
do.
all our viewers?
Nazim is in, onto the pads, comes off the pads to short, fine leg, has a shot at the bowler's end. I think someone's backing that up. That should be a leg by. It's 76 for 3 in the 12th.
This is getting a bit worrying for New Zealand at the moment, I would suggest.
Well, they've actually done a bit better since the break, but yeah, 8.5 overs. Maybe they can get to 155 from here. But that's Pakistan's game. Keep you under 160 and then chase it down.
Danny Morrison looks all excited there. He's down with the spectators. With all his animation.
That one's a firm-blooded pull shot from Williamson. He's put it in the gap, but not hard enough. They will get 2 through to wide mid-wicket.
Pakistan have a good control of this game.
I think so. I think they'll be happy with where things are at the moment. Someone needs to kick on these last 8 overs. Whether it's Williamson, Mitchell, one of the middle order. Someone's got to get in there and give a bit
They've got Nisham,
give a
who we
bit of-
all know. He can hit the long ball. There's Mitchell Santander. He's good too. Tim Southey is a good striker of the ball in the last few overs.
Nazim is in. It's flicked into the leg side from Williamson. They're going to look for 2. The fielder's in quickly enough. They're not going to get it. Scored off every ball this over, but no boundaries. And Nazim's doing quite well. He's got for 13 off 11 balls. .79 for 3.
New Zealand looking to build up here.
In the balance.
They have to be conscious of wickets as well. That's what's put them on the back foot here.
Nazim to complete the over. It's another good ball. Again, it's flicked into the leg side. They'll get 1. They're going to come back for 2. That was maybe not the best bit of fielding. So, as I say, no dot balls in that over, which is good rotation for Pakistan. Hulk punches camera, sue him for damages. It's 81 for 3.
Armchair Cricket Podcast says, hello, what's happening with Mitchell? BMAC's spirit gotten into you at the 10th over break? Yeah, I can't help but feel that somebody's going to have to really go hard very quickly. It's only 3 wickets down, and if they're only going to set 130 or something, they're going to have to bowl amazingly to defend that.
Well, they should be well north.
They're well under par.
They should be well north of that. 8 overs to go. You'd think 155 from here. Right, Wasim's going to continue. Williamson will be on strike as we see the Sydney night skyline.
So both teams unchanged for this game, looking to carry on from where they've left. New Zealand struggling, 81 for 3.
An unusually long break between overs, not sure why. We're seeing a big flag. We'll probably see the bowler 1 yard from the wicket in a second. That's the way they do things. See the stumps, see the bench. Oh, here it comes. Wasim is in. Oh, flicked away by Williamson, and he's put that over deep square leg.
Beautiful shot
for 6. Sometimes
that's a beautiful cricketing
he just
shot there, Andy.
shows you a flash of what he can do. Wish you could see it more often.
I have seen him play some astounding sort of innings on and off for Hyderabad when he was captaining, and for Sunrise Hyderabad in the IPL. He really can hit it when he's a little bit set, but now is the time, isn't it, gentlemen? Now or never. 34 off 29.
Well, that was the perfect team for him to play for and captain, because they're one of those teams who are set up to a bowling team to restrict the opposition and then grind them out. That one has gone way up in the air, way up in the air. Must have been an edge. It doesn't go up like that off the pad, does it? Erasmus thinks so, but that just went a mile up in the air.
I think it was a pad, Andy.
But it's a bit weird.
It is indeed.
And that's the confused expressions on Babar Azam's face, and I can understand why. It must have just flicked. He is going to review, because why not? It just looked so strange. The ball seemed to hit the top of the pad and then go miles in the air.
I wonder if it went off his arm guard or something like that.
I don't think so. Let's have another look. Of course, when you review, you can review for any dismissal. I'm sure they're mainly thinking about a catch.
They will have to review all of them, isn't it, gentlemen?
Yeah.
LBW. Yeah. It looked like a close shot for LBW to me. The way
No,
it
it looked a little bit high for LBW, I think.
Perhaps it hit the top of the pad, the top layer of the pad.
Maybe. Well, we're getting a long time without anything happening. Here we go. But front on view, it's a slower ball, short, and
back. Oh, on his
bouncy thigh pad. So it's definitely not LBW. They probably have to go through the motions of checking for that. This is what's going to count. Ultra edge, no, he's over the top of it.
No.
But I can see why they reviewed. It just looks so weird, and it's going way over the stumps. So we can move on. I wonder if they'll take the executive decision to skip the LBW review. Technically they shouldn't, but it's very clearly not out LBW. They're going to do it anyway. Yeah, it even hits him above the stumps, never mind going over the stumps. Right, so a bit of a strange one, but Pakistan lose one review. They have one left. And Erasmus's decision is maintained, 87 for 3.
Anxious moments for the Kiwi supporters there, but it was fairly evident what had transpired, but there was confusion, as Andy described, and Williamson survives, 34 off 30.
Little skip from Wasim. That's a better one because it hits him full on the pad. There's a chance of run out. Obviously we don't see it. We look at the umpire and they go back because Williamson hit him on the full with a Yorker. He scampered down the pitch. There was a chance of the run out. TV thought we should look at the umpire instead, but he did get back.
That's a beautiful in-swinging Yorker there, Andy. Just almost crushed his toes there. Quicker and certainly venomous. It just sort of swung in right onto his toes. And this is what Mohammad Wasim is known for, with the slingy action. And with the seam right in, that was in-swinging toe crusher.
Yep, it was going down leg. Having just burnt a review, Pakistan didn't want another one. He might have been out there, I think, if he'd hit. And he wasn't too far from the stumps with that throw. So that one's a bit too full. It's a full toss, clipped into the leg side. But there's a man covering out there, and they just get a single.
That was almost hitting 90, Andy, that last ball. He was trying to get the same Yorker but overpitched on that occasion.
Little bit, going for the extra pace. Right. Did he get an edge on that one anyway?
Yeah,
it looked like he did, yeah.
Last 10 balls, a bit of momentum. A 6, just the one lone 6 of the last 10 balls. They need more of that, Andy.
Yep, they definitely need more boundaries. I mean, everyone should be aware of this stat because it's actually the relevant one. The team that hits more boundaries, wins 85% of games, and they could do with a few more. Phillips, Mitchell is on strikes, takes a step down the wicket. It's gone to short cover, who dives. Shadab Khan, they should get through for a single because he's on his back.
So who do you think is close to getting the most valuable player? Is he out?
Of the tournament, you mean?
Yes, of the tournament.
Well, it's always going to go to someone from the team who wins. So if it's India, it'll be Kohli. If it's
SKY,
it's SKY, definitely.
No, but I think they might more likely give it to Kohli because Kohli scored the most runs. I agree with you, but in terms of what will happen, they actually didn't get a run off that ball. And tries again, Phillips. It's gone to mid-off this time, and they'll get through for a single. If it was England, it might be Sam Curran. I'm not sure.
I agree with you on that, but I don't agree with you with Kohli. Why? Because his innings have not had much of an impact.
I totally agree. I'm not saying what they should do. I'm saying what they will do.
That's a good one. I like your analogy. Yes, I mean that perhaps is likely to happen. But if Pakistan win, then certainly Shadab Khan. But his performance have been so monumental for their ascension, isn't it? The way they came up from behind. He's contributed bat, ball, on the field. Certainly an impact player.
What's happening on Twitter, Jez?
Messi?
Well, Twitter's pretty much up to date. There's a picture from Dr. Dan for people to look at. Brian in Brisbane says, morning all, this game hinges on the Pakistan batters. If they fire up later, New Zealand are gone. And Sudahu says anything over 120 is a defendable total with New Zealand bowling.
A little bit of stutter on this run. Fortunately, the non-striker was the quicker one. He dropped it down to backward point and they stuttered a little bit, but they got through for a single. Shadab Khan's back into the attack after an expensive third over.
Playmaker.
And for all we're talking him up, he's got a run out, but he hasn't taken a wicket yet. And he hasn't looked too threatening, I don't think. Not much turn today.
He hasn't, Andy. You're right. He hasn't looked threatening at all. They're just keeping the batsman at bay with his variation.
That one turns away. Williamson flips it up to long on. It'll be an easy single. In fact, he barely walks the last few yards.
It's not on our timeline, but Angelic Scooters has just tweeted, fucking get on with it, will you? Which is about right in terms of the way this game's going.
Again, that one turns away, and both these batsmen love that little shot where they just scoop it into the space on the leg side and pick up one or two. They'll get one this time, 3 singles off this over so far.
I must say, gentlemen, out of the World Cup matches that I've been involved, either commentating or watching, this has probably been the most, the slowest in terms of the drag.
Oh, I don't know.
There's
that Pakistan-Bangladesh game, although we didn't see it live, just had a surprising lack of intensity to it for a knockout game. That's 2 full, and he hasn't taken advantage. He just clips it down because it was at least a foot off the ground. He can only clip it down to short, fine leg for a single.
See, the concerning aspect of this phase of play is that even the loose ball, like the one we saw,
that should
have not been able to.
He should have been looking to hit that in the stand. Yeah,
exactly. Someone's been there 34 balls. Sorry.
He's gone for that one though.
That's
it's clubbed
better.
Straight down the ground. Is it though? Yes, it is. It's 5 yards over the rope. Mitchell with a 6.
And he heard you.
Yeah, well, Mitchell's capable of that. It was Williamson scraped a single off the previous ball. But Mitchell with a nice straight hit, and they need a few more of those, I think.
Donald Mitchell certainly has to break free now for New Zealand's course. They've had a lovely campaign here, the all-important game. He has to step up.
Shorter, and they've gone up for it. No, he got it on the second attempt. They went up for an appeal. The umpire wasn't interested. It was a short ball. He had a swish at it, Williamson. The keeper, it bounced out of his glove, but then he caught it on the second attempt. But no one thinks it's out. So that's the end of the over. Shadab will have to do his work with the bat today because he's taken none for 33 off 4.
It's not relevant to cricket, but it is to what we were discussing earlier on. Nat Cohn from the New York Times and 538 says it's taken a long time, but we made it to lean Democratic on the Senate, which will be a relief to some. And over on YouTube, Stephen Kelk says, yes, I wouldn't roll out the New Zealand doomed just yet. But yeah, it's really... I think very early on, Jack suggested it was sticking a little bit in the wicket, and I think that may well be true. It seems to be a hard wicket to hit a lot of runs on.
Right, this is going to be interesting because Shaheen Shah Afridi is not going to save his, or Babar Azam is not going to save his 2 overs for the death. He's going to bowl Afridi now in the 15th. Shadab Khan has left the field temporarily.
I think it's a good move, Andy, because at this stage, as they're looking to capitalise, you want to get more wickets, isn't it? So they bring in their strike bowler back rather than keeping him for a bit later. But it's a 15th over anyway. So let's see what he can bring.
Be interesting to see if he can generate any swing at this point. Williamson has a very open stance to the left arm over bowler. Goes across him, it's an under edge, toe of the bat. That's a good stop by the wicket keeper. He was going the other way. He had to dive back and pick that one up and definitely save 4.
New Zealand not even getting those streaky edges to keep the scoreboard moving.
Not quite,
Painful.
no, not quite.
When it doesn't go your way, it hardly goes your way, does it, gentlemen?
So far, you've got to make it go your way. Hit it straight for 6 like Mitchell did instead of relying on the edges.
Yes, I agree fully, Andy. Jimmy Neesham must be getting ready now to come in.
Pacing up and down, pacing up. That's what I was terrible for nervous energy before I went out to bat. Afridi comes in, that's a full ball, it's a good Yorker, and Williamson can only play it down the track. That's 2 dots for Afridi. He might be there to take a wicket, but he's bowled a couple of dot balls, which isn't bad.
I was very much like you, Andy, but fortunately for me, I was an opener.
Yeah, I've been 2 of late, yeah.
On occasion, you get to go down the order, and I'm just nervous energy. I pad up. If I'm batting at 5 or 6, I pad up even before the first wicket falls.
Yeah, and as an opener, you don't particularly like to see that. It's not showing a lot of confidence. What I found frustrating in amateur cricket sometimes, even if I'm opening, if we're batting second, it takes fucking forever to people to get umpires and scorers and to finish their tea and ugh. Right,
and
anyway.
Have your tea.
Yeah, they don't have that problem here. Into the pads, that's flicked away by Williamson.
Nice.
It's not a good option to him because he's flicked that down to long leg for 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, at last a boundary here for New Zealand.
Last a boundary for Williamson, who only hit 3 boundaries in 40 balls against England, and I think that might have not helped in that chase.
2 dot balls and a boundary, does it really help?
A little bit. Well, it's the minimum they should be expecting from here. 4.5 and over is 8 and over. Afridi's in again, left arm round. Williamson steps away, plays it out to the sweeper on the offside. That should just be 1.
Mitchell 30 off 19. He's the danger man that Pakistan would like to see the back of. Jimmy Neesham, Mitchell Santander,
Ish Sodhi would generally come in before Southey, yeah. Although they could push Southey up in the last over or 2. I think he is a better boundary hitter than Sodhi.
But Neesham and Mitchell together can do a bit of damage here.
Again, 2 batsmen who haven't fired in this tournament, but Mitchell is coming to the party here. 30 off 19. Afridi is into him, left arm round again, tips it into the leg side. Short fine leg will keep that to a single. We're going to have a change at the end of this over. Jack is going to come back and Bear is going to come and join me in the studio.
I hope he's going to bring you a drink, Andy.
Oh, I'm good.
You're doing a long stint, you deserve one.
I'm good. I'm staying off the beer this morning. Hardly got any sleep. If I have a beer, I'll just conk out. Yeah, maybe. So yes, 1 ball to go in the 15th. Here it is, Afridi, and it's carved away by Mitchell. No, he didn't get anything on it really. It bounced in front of the circle. It's going to come through for a single. We'll see you later on, guys. And it's 106 for 3 off 15.
Thank you.
I'll just do a couple of tweets. Leah says Kane is batting slowly. India dropped Rahane for 112 strike rate. And Farong says Shadab ends his spell, which actually was reasonable until you look at the scorecard. A third of all the runs scored to this stage came off his bowling. That caps at 10 out of 15 on my run rate calculator. That's up to date, Andy.
Yeah, imagine how slow you have to bat to not get into India's top 3.
Pretty slow.
Yeah.
Pretty slow, yeah.
How are you doing,
chaps?
Jack?
I think this is dead 50-50 now.
They've pulled it back, yeah.
Yeah.
I still like Pakistan a little bit, but New Zealand have pulled this back.
Very marginal.
I think if they can get to around about 160, which is maybe a bit tight from here.
I think that would be a winning score.
Yeah,
from what I've seen.
exactly. I think you put yourself in a game around there, don't you? Well, I've got over 140 and a half, and currently they're going to get 141.
Looks pretty good. I think you found the bottom of that market.
Yeah. A couple of big hits is what we need.
Your ball by balling.
Yeah. So I just a second behind. The ball's whipped out into the deep mid-wicket area. They've run through for 2, and really there should have been a run-out completed at the non-strikers end there. There was a good throw in, bounced over the stumps. The bowler did not take it cleanly, so New Zealand come through for 2. It was almost a suicide second run. But yeah, not taken by Ralph, and it will be 2 to New Zealand.
So how's it happened, Bear? There's been 1 run out of 3 wickets, but you weren't on it.
I wasn't on it. I'm just looking. The thing is, after 15, they don't offer it. I don't think. They just go to.
Well, that would have been one.
No, they still aren't. It's 10-1 now, though. Well,
Here's Ralph in short on his toes. Williamson pushes it into the offside, and they come through for another single.
What I really fancy is if Pakistan are struggling after about 8 overs, I'm definitely going to pile in on it.
There's always a run out in Pakistan.
Yeah, there is. So you got to pick your team.
I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's even true. They certainly had a few candidates across the years, haven't they?
Yes, they
I
have.
think there's a Robelinda montage of Inzamam being run out.
Well, Inzamam was.
No, the best thing is in a second.
Ralph in, driven up in the air. Is this going to clear the infield? I don't think it is. Oh, just by a couple of feet. And Mitchell will jog through for the second run. Babar Azam, the fielder, on the edge of the circle at mid-off, not able to make a play on the ball, as they would say in baseball.
No, the funniest thing about that video is that it's titled 23 of Inzamam's funniest runouts.
Yeah.
It's not even a complete collection. Opted against the Roloff van der Merwe dive slide there, Babar Azam, and I wonder if he'd maybe have had a chance if he had. 5 from the first 3 balls of this over. And it's been a scratchy 5, full, and Mitchell knocks this down towards long on. They turn, they're going to come back for 2. It's only trickled to the edge of the 30-yard circle, and so Nawaz running in isn't able to affect a run out. It will be 2 more. New Zealand up to 113 for 3 now.
Yeah, it's not the hugest ground, so
No, it's short square.
I wonder if they should be allowing quite so many 2s.
I think it's got one sort of slightly bigger side. There's still some 70-metre boundaries here, which is pretty
short, I think, in international.
No, 70 metres isn't short. Driven on the back foot by Mitchell. It's going out towards backward point, and they come through for 2 runs. A square boundary that's 70 metres is pretty unusual, I think. Well, maybe not unusual, but it's longer than average in international cricket. Perhaps you probably get a few more grounds where it's a bit shorter straight, don't you? But
yeah, they seem to be long. Well, it's because of the bloody Aussie rules, isn't it? They're all fucking ovals.
There is one slightly shorter side, but I think 60 metres though, which is
they're behind square at one end. It's like 60 and 61.
Yeah. Mitchell on strike. He goes for the ramp, and well, all he does is ramp it to the keeper. I think it got to him on the bounce though, so it wasn't a chance. He palms it round the post, and fine leg helps him out. They come through for another single.
He's back quite well, Daryl Mitchell, considering he's had a pretty poor tournament. I suppose it's T20 cricket, isn't it? You've got to think every time you go out there's a chance.
Definitely.
Come good at the right time in the tournament when your side needs you.
Yeah, I know we talk a lot about confidence because that's how we play cricket.
Yes.
International sportsmen, I think, should be a bit mentally stronger and have that intrinsic confidence.
Especially when it comes to T20. I mean,
Yeah.
you see a lot of them go, well, you know it's T20 and some days I'm going to get out for fuck all and the next day I'm going to hit, you know, 100 ball, 50 ball 100, you know.
Well, and
you got to believe it.
That helps you. Colin on YouTube rightly is sort of echoing my point. It's still bigger than most of the English grounds and certainly the Indian grounds in the IPL. Mog is there saying Kane is struggling to give his wicket. Oh, that was Colin. Kane's struggling to give his wicket away now. Mog says volume of runs but not the speed, but at least he's not Temba, or indeed at least he's not the whole South African team against Netherlands.
I wish I'd watched that game and I'd love to see them panicking.
Highlights are still pretty funny.
Yeah. They started doing a replay of the whole game on Sky and I was like, I'm not going to watch it just for the end to see them losing their shit.
People said, Maharaj was hopping at the end there. I didn't realise he was actually hopping. He was actually trying to do runs on one leg.
Oh, was he injured?
Yes.
Oh, right. Should have got himself out, hit wicket, let someone
Or
else.
gone in 11, you would have thought. I don't know, the South African Brains Trust.
It's never been the greatest.
They were melted at that point, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, I did say, didn't I? There's always a team. You know, there's always a weird result in T20. You know, you've got the biggest chance of getting an upset in a T20. Let's face it.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, Zimbabwe beat Pakistan. We lost to Ireland, and South Africa lost to Netherlands. So there's probably 3 reasonable upsets.
Afridi is going to bowl out. He's going round the wicket, trying to get that inward angle to Daryl Mitchell. Hits him in the pad, and the Kiwis come through for a quick run. 117 for 3. 23 balls left in the innings. I think they'll be thinking 160s probably on here.
They should be, and that's one thing you can give New Zealand. They were rained off against Afghanistan, but they did beat Ireland and Netherlands fairly comfortably.
Yes. Whereas we struggled against Ireland. Well, we lost to Ireland. We struggled against Afghanistan, and we kind of struggled getting across the line as well, didn't we?
Sorry, should I have said no? It was
Williamson on strike. He goes for the sweep and is bowled. Leg stump. Shaheen Afridi does his celebration. Williamson went a little bit too far. Tried to get a little bit too cute. I think it was a slower ball too.
Yeah, it was 75 miles an hour.
The Kiwis lose their 4th wicket.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Probably not the worst result, is it, for the Kiwis to lose Kane just now? 4 overs to go. Big hitting Jimmy Neesham comes in. If he gets going, we see what he did to England last year in the last 4 overs of a T20.
in theory, but
in theory,
Williamson's did it again. 46 off 42.
Yeah, 109.5 strike rate. Better than 100, only marginally.
It is. I think the only positive thing you can say about him is he does score off every ball. So if you do want somebody to give the strike to the guy at the other end, he is capable of doing that. Be that Phillips in earlier matches, or
well, this is it. You've got to have a massive banger at the other end for it to work, really.
Yeah.
You've got to have someone going to a ball at the other end. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it kind of evens itself out.
Is in. Do we have his jingle?
We should do. Let's have a look.
Number 6.
We'll teach him, Jimmy Neesham, unleash him, Jimmy Neesham.
Strikes 148 in this tournament so far, but averages only 12.
If he gets those 26 runs in 12 balls, or whatever it is, he's going at strike rate. That'd be reasonably handy. Because there's only what, 20 balls left? No, 20. I can't count.
22 balls to go. 22 balls to go. So yeah, if they could get 40 off them, 157, pretty good score.
They're in the game then, aren't they?
Neesham batting left-handed. First ball is it's a bit of a dud, to be honest. It's a full toss, but it doesn't pick it up particularly well, and actually ends up defending it back to the bowler. So it will be a dot.
Bale went a long way, wasn't he? He got bowled there. Over the keeper.
It did hit Bale. Did the other Bale even come off? I don't think it did.
No, it didn't. Actually, it's still on there. Yeah, just dislodged the leg stump.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most aesthetically pleasing things in cricket. The one Bale.
Oh, I think off stump out of the ground and the other two standing there untouched.
Yeah. Driven by Nisham, it beats cover. It's going to run towards the outfield. Pakistan have got a deep point in. Who comes round to sweep up.
Oh, I lost my
the
bit.
Kiwis get through for 2. It looked like Mitchell was going to set off for a 3rd. Was that the ooh from the studio?
No, I realised that I had run out on the last wicket, didn't I? So,
well,
You're looking good for over 140 anyway.
yeah, it's looking reasonable.
yeah, 119 now is the score. It's quite a partisan Pakistan crowd, I think.
Decent crowd
the
in
SCG.
anyway.
Yeah, it looks like it's been relatively well supported this game. Here is a 3D. It's another full toss, hit quite well into the leg side by Nishan. There's a dive by the Pakistan fielder though. Dive come slide, who hooks it back into play before it reaches the rope. I think that was Sham Masood. They come through for 2 runs, 121 for 4.
Yeah, they're 10 yards off the boundary, even on that reasonably shortish boundary. Nearly got beaten there, Andy.
It's
Yeah,
interesting.
taking a little bit of a risk,
Yeah.
to be honest. 'Cause giving up the 2 anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It's interesting, a 3D bowling 15 and 17.
Yes, he usually bowls at the end, doesn't he? Death overs.
I think that's a fitness thing. That's my view on that. I think they're moving him up a little because they're not 100% sure he's fit. He goes full that time. A big inside edge, or a thickish inside edge anyway, from Nisham. Gets the ball in front of square on the leg side, and they come through for another 2. So it went leg by wicket, dot 222, 7 from the over, 123 for 4 with 3 to go.
Good for a 3D though, 2 for 24 off his 4 overs. Leah says that 20-minute INSEE montage is genius. If he had domestic game footage, he could probably go feature length. And Armchair Cricket Podcast New Zealand bounced back with 47 for naught in overs 10 to 15, so they have a chance at an above par 160 target. Well, they got 3 overs to get 37.
Yeah, it's doable. They need a couple of big hits here, don't they? A couple of 6s in these last 2 overs, and maybe a couple of 4s, and then whatever else they can get off it, and that gets them, probably 35, something like that, which, yeah, as you say, takes them up to about 158.
Yeah, I think they'll be well in the
Is there a
game.
little bit of drizzle? There's a little bit of water on the side of the dugout, and people putting hoods on.
Possibly. We haven't had anything to confirm that. Nasim Shah comes back into the attack to bowl the next over. It's big hack from Daryl Mitchell, and he just gets it over cover. It runs away to the fence. There was a chance of catch, but once it was past that man, it was 4 all the way.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Just got underneath that enough, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a
Hit it
slow ball. He
cleanly.
waited on it really well, Mitchell. So muscle it more than anything else over the infield.
Did Shadab Khan land gingerly there, or was that just disappointment?
No, he did go off for an over or 2.
Short ball, and that's a hook from Mitchell, very square, straight to the man on the fence. Imad Wazim will be a single. 128 or 4 now.
Definitely get an extra feel of tension in the semi-final, don't you, rather than
Of
just
course.
the group game.
Yeah, of course.
Pakistan look more comfortable, I have to say.
Do you think? I think they're starting to look a little bit worried. I think they're worried they've blown quite a good start here.
Well, yeah, but it's still, I mean, they should believe they can chase it, although having seen Pakistan this tournament, I mean, this would be the game for Babar and Rizwan to pull back their form, wouldn't it? And then if they do, they'll probably walk it. I fancy Trent Bolt to get an early wicket.
On that, isn't Babar Azam having statistically the worst World Cup in the history of T20 World Cups?
Considering they're 1 and 2, was it 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 in world rankings?
He's striking at less than 70. Naseem in, pull from Jimmy Neesham. He gets that behind square on the leg side, but the man is positioned very well, so it will just be a single.
I also saw something that over the last couple of years or so, of all the times he's been out in the power play, it's mostly not been playing attacking shots, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it is a bit odd.
LBWs and little
edges, I guess.
Edges through to the keeper rather
fiddling
than
at the ball, yeah.
Got 4 and 2 singles to begin this 18th over. Naseem gets back to the top of his mark. Pakistan are ahead of where they need to be time-wise, so no worries there. There's a drive from Mitchell. We'll pick up one down the ground. They come back for a second. It's a pretty poor throw in, and I tell you what, it's not great fielding from the bowler either. He didn't bother going to the stumps. There shouldn't have been two there, I don't think. Pakistan have gifted them a bonus run.
Yeah, there definitely shouldn't have been, really. It's just a bunt down to long on. Should be a single, and that's it.
Yeah, the Pakistan body language isn't great at the moment. I kind of see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't rate Nazim's reaction to that as well. To stand hands on hips nowhere near the stumps because the fielder didn't get there on time. So who's he supposed to throw it to? Anyway, 131 for 4. A big over from New Zealand here, I think, really would blow things open. As Naseem comes in, it's short, it's a slower ball, it's hooked. Backwards a square by Mitchell. Will just be a single. They found that man 3 times this over, I think.
Yeah, 9 off the over, 1 ball to go. It's not a bad over. 6 here would make it interesting. That would make it nicer, wouldn't it? 46 off 29 for Darren Mitchell. It's good innings.
It's really good innings, really vital for the Kiwis. It's given them the momentum that they were lacking the first 10 or so overs of the match.
That's how you finish in a T20, isn't it? And get yourself up to that 160.
Here comes Naseem. Presumably he'll bowl the final over as well. He goes full. It's pushed into the offside. Good draw for that. And it will just be a single to Nisham. 133 for 4 with 18 played.
Armchair Cricket Podcast says, great to see Nasim Shah trusted to bowl at the death ahead of Shaheen Afridi. Maybe it's the range of pace and control of length that he offers. And we're good on Twitter.
Okay.
Cool. I think I'd be taking Shaheen Afridi if he was fit.
Yeah. When he came in,
honest.
he came into this completely unfit, didn't he? I mean, he just literally comes back off an injury. There was a knee injury as well, wasn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a knee injury that they didn't diagnose properly too. So they had to fly him out to London for some specialist treatment. A month after they said he was out, which isn't ideal for your fast bowler, is it?
No. Yeah, well, England have previous on that as well, don't it?
Is Wood a bit doubtful for tomorrow?
I don't think so. I think Wood's fine. Hopefully he won't break down before next week.
There are rumours.
Oh, there? Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, it could just be noise. Nisham on strike. Ralph will bowl the 19th, the all-important 19th. It is pulled to that man again. Backwards a square on the rope. And New Zealand come through for a single.
Because we've lost... Dawa Milan's definitely out, isn't he?
Were they able to bring in a replacement for him? Or
I think they are, because I know our boy Dan Weston wants him to bring in Duckett, and I tend to agree, but they won't.
Yeah, they're talking Phil Salt, aren't they?
Salt's the only replacement they've got. He's a completely different kind of batsman.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think they need the 2 anchors, and it's probably better.
Probably is, but we Stokes up to 3 and either Hales Hales you probably keep at the top because that's where he is at the moment, and Salt comes in at 4 as another banger. Or Salt goes 6 and you move Moeen and Livingston up 1 place each.
Here is Ralph, driven back over his head. That's hit really hard. Will it make it to the fence? No, it's a good piece of work by Shaheen Afridi running round. I think it was Shaheen Afridi anyway. Running round behind the sight screen to keep them to 2 and prevent the 4.
One of those shots that you like just because of the shape of it, but he hasn't actually hit it as hard as you think.
Yeah, I thought he hit it harder than that.
I think that's one that's a banker for in England because the ground's never long enough, but it is actually 75-80 metres down the ground, so it gives your player quite a long time to get round from a wide long on to cut that off.
Yeah, you've got to hit it sweetly to get it to beat the man.
Harris Ralph's been a real star for Pakistan in this tournament, particularly at the death. Comes in and aborts his run up that time.
I mean, it would be quite exciting to see a Pakistan-India final.
I just think either way, India-Pakistan and England-Pakistan I'm happy with. India-New Zealand is the only one you kind of think,
I think it'd still be a good final. I'm kind of anyone but India.
Ralph in under the pads of Mitchell, plays a big whippy looking shot that doesn't connect. That'll be a leg by. It's a good start to this 19th over from Pakistan's point of view, just 4 from the first 3 balls.
You're going to say something like anything but India.
Yeah, send your tweets to what's your Twitter handle?
At the half bear. That's just, I like to see, if we don't win, I like to see the pain in others.
Well, yeah, true enough. Yeah.
And India being the powerhouse that they are, it's going to be quite nice if someone beat them. They got there. I mean, this is it. Again, I go back to, if you can get Sky out, I think you've got a good chance of beating him. If he gets going...
Or if you keep the others in long enough to not give Sky many balls.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Rahul's not done too bad.
It's a good whip from Nisham. He gets that very fine. He beats fine leg, and that will run away for 4. Mitchell Santner on the bench doesn't even clap it. He just nods along. Very happy with that. 141.
Give it to me 2 times. Give it to me 3 times. Give it to me 4 times.
You're a winner, Bear.
I am a winner. Well, I've won 2 and I've lost 2. I got the first wicket, failed on the second, didn't get my run out, and I've got my over 140. That's kind of how it works in T20. If you get a run, you get a bit of a profit. If not, works out about evens over the course of a game.
8 balls to go. That's a little bit better in terms of line from Ralph. Still round the wicket to the left-handed Nisham. And Nisham, well, he doesn't really play much of a shot today. Just pokes it into the offside, and they come through for 1.
Looks around 155, doesn't it?
Yeah, if they can get a decent last over. Who's going to bowl the last over? Having the Waz then, we reckon?
Oh, no, I think Shah.
Shah.
Nothing Shah. 3. Yeah. I'd be surprised if it was someone else. You never really know, though, do you? It could be the Waz again.
That would be a surprise.
Yeah, he's a spinner. I think I've got it all wrong there.
Hit is Mitchell on strike. He's on 48 from 31. It's been a good innings. Can he get to his 50? It's a full toss, quite close to waist high. I think a little bit below though. They turn, they come back for 2. A little bit of a hesitation, but they make it quite comfortably. That is the 50 for Mitchell, and New Zealand finished the 19th on 144 for 4.
It's 50, and you know that can't be bad. Yeah, it's 50, and you know you should be glad.
Off 32 deliveries, it's not a bad strike rate.
It's good.
Needed.
It's definitely given them a chance, good chance. I'd call this about 50-50 here, yeah.
No, I see what the bookies say.
I think they'll want 12 plus off this final over to be happy with their work, or happy with their recovery anyway. Good over here from anything sub 155. I think Pakistan would be favourites.
Then again, they've only lost the 4 wickets. You might think they could have done better because of that. You know, you don't want to lose a game. Well, you never want to lose a game, but fingers can be pointed when you only lose 4 wickets batting first, and then the other team gets them.
Well, interestingly, the bookies' view of Pakistan batting is not favourable.
Full from Naseem. It is Naseem to start the final over. It's knocked down to long on. The long boundaries allow them to get back for a very comfortable 2. 146 the score.
The bookies have New Zealand 5-4 on, and Pakistan at evens. So it is pretty much evens, but they've got New Zealand as slight favourites.
I'd say the thing with New Zealand, they do send in Ish Sodhi at 8, which is probably the worst number 8 of the major nations, and probably the worst number 8 by a distance. And Santa's not an amazing 7 either. So they do have to do a lot of work up top. As a slower ball bouncer from Naseem Shah comes in, I don't think this will be wided, and they come through for a bye. It was so slow through to the wicketkeeper that they made that bye very, very comfortably. So all action.
I don't have a problem with that in T20s though. I mean, I do honestly think that, you know, it's only 20 overs. If you're going to win a game, your top 6 should be able to have to score the bulk of the runs anyway.
And this is the thing with England. They've gone with Livingston at 7 and Curran at 8, which is almost which is why they don't need the 2 anchors. You know, it's a complete luxury. Curran's barely had a bat, and he's certainly capable.
Yeah, Livingston's been pretty poor all tournament.
Well, again, he's been going in 6 and 7 the whole time.
Well, they promoted him up one day, and he splashed it down long on's throat, didn't they? Okay.
Yeah, I'll come on to that.
Here is Naseem. He goes short and slow. It's hoiked into the leg side. It looked good off the bat, but it's long boundary, and it will be a 1 bounce single to the man on the rope, Sham Masood.
So I was going to say this early on, but it was hard to get a word in. Are you are you more pointing at, in that England game, are you more pointing at Livingston getting out trying to hit a 6 than Moen and Brook getting out playing nothing shots?
No, I mean, I think you were right at the time. I think England had the right at that point to push on and try and bash it out of the park.
Yes.
You know, there was no question. I mean, they'd only lost 2 wickets at the time, hadn't they? So, I mean, you might as well try and get it over and done with quickly.
Into the pads of Neesham. It squirts off, goes to short third, and they come through for a single. There's a hilarious appeal. It's nowhere near the stumps. It also bounced about 2 feet outside leg stump. And maybe they'll review it. They've got a spare one.
And you know, I mean, and then they ended up doing it right at the end because, well, I mean, I guess you could have said that when they did try and push on it, Sam Curran got himself out, you know, and Stokes did the wise thing, I guess, in the end, and they thought, well, we need less than a run of balls, so we might as well get over the line, which was kind of the right thing to do, I think, in the end. But I don't think it was also wrong for those guys to try and push the score along.
I'd agree, yeah.
2 balls to go. It's been a very good final over from Naseem. That shot, that's hit high up in the air, no distance on it whatsoever. I think they'll probably get through for 2 though, so it only drops on the edge of the circle. And they do, good running. That's like a punt in the NFL. Hung up there for a good 4 or 5 seconds. There's nobody in on the circle.
They'd love a 6 off the last ball, wouldn't they? 157 that would get them.
Yeah, I mean, I think this over wrestles it slightly back into Pakistan's favour. We know it's going to be a relatively low scoring game. The extra sort of 4 or 5 runs here could make a big difference.
Yeah, it could do.
I think this is going to bring the GPL into play. That was right in the... I think Jez was saying entries for between 290 and 320, so they should be in the wheelhouse.
9 entries, ranging from 297 to 327.
As Mitchell will face the last ball, he goes for the scoops wide thing. They come through for a bye. I think that was it. It was down the leg side. Are they going to wide that or not?
Did he get anything on it? I thought he might have got a little under edge.
If he didn't, no, it's been given as a bye. That's a wide, but whatever. I mean, I don't. Yeah. I'm not an umpire. It brings the innings to a conclusion. 152 for 4 is what New Zealand end up posting, meaning Pakistan will need 153 to win, and we're set up pretty nicely, I think, and for a good second innings.
305, 306 and 307 and 308 are all taken in the GFL, and 309. So if Pakistan win, someone is going to win a GPL.
Okay, well that's an extra incentive for them. Right, what are we going to do in the 4 minutes 30 seconds we get a break for?
Well, if they did it in time, we might actually get 15 minutes. Who knows? But you know what?
A quick scorecard run through for anybody that joined us late. Did start at 8 o'clock, which is early for some people in the UK. Finn Allen, he opened up, hit the first ball of the innings for 4, and then was pinned LBW by Shaheen Afridi shortly afterwards. Devon Conway never really got going, 21 from 20 for him. Kane Williamson, steady the ship, Kane Williamson, 46 from 42. A very Kane Williamson-esque innings. No fireworks from Phillips today, but fireworks from Daryl Mitchell. A friend of mine, Cameron Punsonby, did an interview with him that's up on the BBC at the moment if you want to go over and learn more about Daryl Mitchell. 53 from 35 for him, 3 4s and a 6. At the other end, Neesham picked up 16 off 12, and that pulled New Zealand up to a relatively competitive 152 from their 20 overs. With the ball, Shaheen Afridi was probably the star, 2 for 24 from his 4 overs. The only other bowler to actually take a wicket, bearing in mind Conway was run out, was Mohamed Nawaz, 2 overs, 1 for 12 for him. Everyone else was relatively economical. It was a decent bowling performance from Pakistan that started strong, but perhaps let New Zealand slightly off the hook. Bear, what are we going to be listening to?
It's only 5 minutes. We're going back to some dice cricket, obviously.
Cool. I'm going to refresh my drink, and I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okie dokie. We shall see you very shortly.
Well, after those 2 wickets and 2 balls, a partnership of 67 for the 7th wicket between Ian Botham and Rakeem Cornwall. They've enjoyed batting together and, frankly, running a lot together through the course of this tournament. 28 off 11, Ian Botham made 2 4s, 1 6, and many 2s. Alf Valentine now has 3 for 64 after 14.3 overs, 268 for 7.
Well, coming to the wicket is the left-handed Ian Austin, uncomplicated Lancastrian. You can't say that about many of them, but he certainly was. And he, of course, got 80 against the naughty boy. Sorry, where was going to, how the fuck did they play for England 11 that he really looked at his best? And he's coming out to join Rakeem Cornwall.
Brendan Young, Austin Young.
Valentine it is then, coming into the left-hander over the wicket this time, and he smacked it for 6. Oh, he got offline there and he picked him up. Lovely swing of the bat, a free swing of the bat. It's taken it away over deep backward square leg for one of these. So what a start for Ian Austin. Valentine goes back to his mark, comes in again and bowls, and this time he just pushes gently into the offside, sees that the field is just a little bit back on its heels on the edge of the circle, and they pick up a very quick single.
One to come.
Rakeem Cornwall comes down to There's an appeal from Valentine again as he made a crucial breakthrough here. Yes, it's another LBW as Rakeem Cornwall. Well, it's a long way to go down for Rakeem to try and sweep, but he didn't really get on top of it, and it's hit him on the pad, and that is in front of middle stump. And Valentine's lack of pace has done for Rakeem Cornwall.
You flipping mother!
Been very much feast or famine for the fat lot of use middle order. We had a partnership of 71, then 2 wickets and 2 balls. Then we had a partnership of 67, then 2 wickets in and over. Good work from Alfred Louis Valentine, who I think it was Alf Valentine who got. It was indeed Alf Valentine who got the breakthrough earlier. The double. Oh no, the double breakthrough was across 2 overs. Wasn't it? I'll forget about it. But Alf Valentine, 4 overs, 4 for 71. Really hasn't helped himself with the 2 no balls. Doing his best to keep the fat lot in check, but they are 275 for 8 after 15 overs. Ian Austin on 7 off 2, and a new man yet to face.
It's this man from Bermuda.
A hero.
Well, he may be coming in at number 10, but there's a lot of expectation on this man after his amazing semi-final performance in which he scored 53 and took 8 for 34. He's coming out now to bat against Alf Valentine, who's that
was the end of the over.
Oh, he's not going to face, so it's going to be Ian Austin to face up to.
Declaration bowling time, Hendo. Jeffrey Boycott's going to be bowling with his hat on.
Oh God, Jeffrey Boycott to bowl. They'd love to see it.
Before we come to Jeffrey Boycott, the dubious pleasure of Jeffrey Boycott
Jingle's playing right now.
Bowling.
My mum could have caught that in a penny. Boix. He's no more brains than a pork pie. Boix. Add 2 wickets to the score.
A lot of talk about bounties and mutinies. Pirate Barchar at large says bounties are fantastic. I will hear no calumnies against them. Mutiny, very much building on the joke I made earlier. Linux Lear says, you know what became of the mutinies of the bounty, don't you? Pirate Barchar says, I'll take the gallows. And then, apparently they settled a small uninhabited island now known as the Pitcairn Islands and did very unpleasant things to the native children.
Oh yes, I've read a book about that. Yes, many years ago. Yeah, it's a curious case, that, I'm afraid to say. There are a couple of books about it that are quite interesting.
Captain Bligh went on to be onto the Root of the Ashes story in the end, wasn't he? Or was it a relation of Captain Bligh?
Different Captain Bligh.
Different Bligh.
Ivo Bligh, yes, who had some stumps burned in his dishonour. Diana Patterson says, here is that dubious plague of no balls again. Yes, there have been a number of them. There have been, I think, 6 in the innings thus far. Yeah, there have been. So a whole extra over of no balls. Yes. 275 for 8 after 15. Boycott bowling to Ian Austin.
Well, this is a Rose's battle, isn't it? Ian Austin from Lancashire against the greatest living Yorkshireman. And his first ball is just dabbed away. There's a little bit of in-swing. That's what you do get with Boycott. You do get the ball swinging, but it is at a rather sedate pace. And Ian Austin picks up 2 through extra cover. Next ball from Boycott is chopped away down towards deep backward point. Third man comes running round. They're coming back for the third, bringing Dwayne Leverock down. Oh my goodness, Dwayne Leverock is an appeal against him first ball, and it's not out. Oh, the relief of his 65,000 fans on the island of Bermuda is palpable as Leverock survives. Next delivery is bowled to him, and he takes full toll of Boycott this time. As the swing comes into him, he just goes with that, lifts it over deep square leg, and picks up a wonderful maximum. Boycott in again, and I can't see what's happening to the dice, but he's going to get a single this time. Is Dwayne Leverock picks up 1 behind square on the onside.
1 to come.
1 to come for I forget who's batting. Ian Austin, and Ian Austin sees this one offline and just launches himself at it, drives it up and over extra cover, and that's gone for a very flat 6 indeed.
Oh, it started so well for Jeffrey Boycott. 5 runs only off the first 3 balls of the over, but then 6-1-6. Dwayne Leverock is on 7 off 3. Ian Austin 18 off 5. 16 overs gone, having been put into bat. The flat little of use 11, 293 for 8.
Right, well, it's going to be Dwayne Leverock to face, and it's going to be who bowling, Tony?
Alf's going to carry on.
Alf's continuing. Well, he has performed manfully today. He's coming in left arm over the wicket, round the wicket to Dwayne Leverock. He's in, he bowls, and the big men, they love their running, and they're trying to lose a couple of stone each during this tournament, and they're going to come back for the third.
It's not very fat of them, is it?
Not very fat of them at all. And there's going to be 3 more this time as Ian Austin clobbers that away on the onside through square leg. Didn't really get all of it. A little bit of a shank, but it's...
Hello, welcome back, everyone. I'm with Messy Jez, and I'm with Andy Ward. How you doing, both? Start with you, Jez.
I'm well, thank you. I'm actually torn with this. I think Pakistan ought to win it, but I think New Zealand will.
That's just, what does that which way are you betting then?
I'm betting on keeping my money in my pockets for this one.
No bet. Yes. Well, it's going to depend. I mean, New Zealand certainly Bolt has taken wickets. Pakistan not so much in this tournament, but generally are very reliant on their opening pair. So these first few overs could be absolutely key. Right, I'm going to jingle some people up. I'm sure we have no surprises about who is going to be out there, starting with this man.
Everyone knows he's not hit a pole, 'cause he can hit the ball really quite far. If the bowling's subpar, the runs are sure to flow. Oh, he bats and he keeps, and that's what the deal is, because he's Muhammad Rizwan.
Excellent, and this is going to be his partner.
No, sir. He doesn't, because he's a cricketer from Pakistan, and he's a really good one. Thank you very much.
Well, Pakistan are off to a flyer. Trent Boult comes in and bowls a long hop wide of our stump. Rizwan cuts it hard through cover, and it runs away into the fence for 4 runs.
Yes, indeedy. This is the bowler. No surprises here either.
How does he speak, or play the horn, or clean his teeth, or even yawn? How does he shout? How does he call? Trent Boult's mouth is really small.
And it was indeed a bit of a gimme first ball, resulting in one of these.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan.
Better next ball though, gets one to move back in. There's an attempted stop by Martin Guptill. I'm not sure who he's on the field for. He's on as a sub. But he spills it. Pakistan don't come through for the single, never run on a misfield. So it is a dot. I'm back in Pakistan. I think this pitch will suit the Pakistani batters a little bit more than it will suit the Netherlands, the New Zealand batters. I think it's a little bit slower A little bit lower.
A little bit lower, yep.
Yeah, I think Pakistan have really struggled on the more typical Australian pitches. Inside edge of the bat, or inside half of the bat from Rizwan on an attempted drive, dribbles out into the leg side, and they come through for a quick one.
An awful lot depends on this partnership, though, doesn't it?
Well, they've got to get some runs at some point. Yeah.
Babar in particular is due as due can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they'll like it more here than they have at some of the other grounds. In fact, wasn't it here where they got a load of runs against South Africa?
Australia. Oh no, New Zealand got runs against Australia. Sorry.
Yeah. Edge, and I think that might be a drop by Conway. It moved across Babar Azam. Flew hard to the keeper's right. He stuck out a glove. And I think it might have sort of scraped the webbing. A very tough chance on the dive, and it may well have bounced just in front of him. But could be a chance. Let's take another look at that. Yeah, clear edge, and it flies. Yeah, off the fingertips of Conway.
Yeah. Would have been a good one. It was a very good ball. It swung back into the batsman and then just held its line off the wicket, which is what drew the edge. And that was very good bowling. Almost brought a wicket.
Yeah, here comes Bolt again to Rizwan now. They took a single on the edge. There's a scampered 1-2 point. And they're through relatively safely. So 7 from the first 5 balls. They can be the margins though. I mean, 153. I don't think it's an awful score on this pitch, but it's not a banker, is it? You're going to need a little bit of luck or a very good spell or a good catch, and that's a good catch that went down.
Well, also there didn't seem to be much for the Pakistan spinners in that innings, and Santner and Sodhi have been key for New Zealand. I'm not sure how much they'll get out of this.
Defended last ball of the over by Babar. It dribbles towards point. Well, bounces towards point. It's a dot ball. 7 off the first over, and we'll go to the tweets from the break.
So, well, Leah said, "Hey, New Zealand, newsflash: you don't play anchors in the T20." Warren, our very own Warren Davis, has been sampling the flesh pots of Sydney in his visit from the US. Says, and he's at the game. Says, thinking this might not be a bear game, but I'm enjoying it very much. Hopefully my ears will stop bleeding before the final. So it's clearly very, very noisy there. And Farong says, runs on the board, 10 to 15 below my expectations. However, being a final, nerves play a bigger factor. Again, all down to power play 1. Pakistan would take 1 for 40 to 45. Black Caps will want 2 for 30 to 30. Game on.
Yep, sounds reasonable. And also no surprises with the next bowler, New Zealand's other main wicket-taking threat.
It's only a whimsical notion.
Here he comes, Southie. Gets one to shape away slightly, but started it a bit wide, so it wasn't a particularly threatening ball. Cut by Rizwan, but straight to Finn Allen at a backward point. No run.
Yeah, I would agree with Farong. If Pakistan only lose 1 wicket in the power play and they're around 40-45, they should be happy. If they get through these first 4 overs, which is going to be the main time when the ball's swinging, without losing a wicket, I think they'll be very happy.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Southie in, pushed at by Rizwan. I don't know where he was trying to hit that, but it ends up going quite slowly to mid-on, so they come through for 1.
And of course, with Bolt and Southie are going to pitch the ball up looking for wickets, it could give you some 4 balls.
Yeah,
it could do. It's a little bit of a question of whether they'll take them. These two, they haven't really been that interested in that so far in the tournament. If they were able to get off to a good start, it would make it very easy for the rest of the Pakistan batters, or make it much easier, let's say. Defended by Babar, very late on that. Again, it goes towards backward point, and there's no run.
Yeah, just to remind. Oh, sorry, that always happens. Just to remind you, there's no threat of rain today or tomorrow. Sunday might be a different matter, but we shouldn't have a problem with these 2 semi-finals.
Yeah, we should be in business. Yeah.
Would be a shame if rain affected the final.
Well, Doom Monger Messi Jez certainly seems to think that's a possibility, as the fourth delivery of Southie's over drifts a little bit down the leg side. The umpire gestures to signal that flips the pad, so it will not be a wide.
Only reason it couldn't have been, yeah.
Yeah, there's a slower balls. They've gone with slower balls early. I mean, that might be learning from the Pakistan innings there. Pakistan bowled a lot of stuff into the surface, out the back of the hand. And all
But
of
again, the first 4 overs, slower balls, not that much of a wicket-taking option.
Not at all, really. As Southie is defended into his own foot by Babar. He didn't know where that went. He kicked it out just off the pitch on the offside. Didn't threaten the stumps, but maybe a little bit nervous for a second. Heart in mouth moment, possibly.
Yeah, and I think the counterpoint to what we're saying, sorry Jack, is that I think New Zealand should be going full on for wickets.
Yeah, and that was another ball out the side of the hand from Southie. Just one from the over so far. Pakistan are up to 8. Form is temporary, class is permanent, reads a sign in the crowd. Hashtag Babar Azam.
Great, bring back Inzamam.
And he picks up his second run. Southie goes very full. He rolls his wrists on it, not timed particularly well, but finds a little bit of space in the infield on the leg side to come through for a run. So it's 9 off the first 2. We've had a dropped catch, we've had a boundary, and we've had a lot of watchful batting.
Armchair Cricket Podcast makes a bold prediction. It says after that drop, Babar Azam to hit a 50 at a strike rate of 150 plus in this semi and the decider on Sunday. Hashtag famous last words.
Well,
good luck with that one, Ajit.
He's already got some catching up to do.
Yes, 2 off 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that will be a significant turnaround in form.
Trent Bolt in, it's short, wide of off stump, hit back at him, and there's a shy at the stumps. A lot to unpack there. It was a wide ball from Bolt. An attempted cut actually goes back at the bowler. Bolt sticks his hand out, deflects it, it lands in a little bit of space, and I think Babar thought there was an opportunity for him to come through for a single. He nearly sails Rizwan short though, as a good piece of fielding from mid-off, swooping in on the ball, meant that the single was never really on. Fortunately for Pakistan, he turned around, got home, and the throw missed. So it's a dot ball. Bolt in once more, short, wide cut, that's gone through point and will reach the fence. Another good shot, this time from Babar Azam, his first boundary of the innings.
Yeah, I think you're right in the previous ball. He really could have sold Mohammad Rizwan down the river because it went straight back behind him. Rizwan couldn't see it, and Babar was running straight at him. So, but fortunately, he changed his mind in time.
Yeah, I don't think we're not seeing an awful lot of shape. I mean, that ball, it wasn't really a long hop. That was a test match length ball, and I think Bolt probably put it there hoping the ball would move back in. It didn't, and it ended up just being a little bit wide. That ball's in the 4th stump channel, probably a little bit more threatening. It's defended behind square on the offside, and this time they do come through for a single, so it's 14 for no loss, Pakistan, after 2.5 overs.
Well, that's a mystery of swing bowling, isn't it? I mean, Shaheen Shah Afridi was getting some swing in the first over.
Yeah.
He dismissed Finn Allen.
As we're just getting a clip of Matt Hayden teaching Babar Azam
how
something
to bat.
here in the nets. Yeah, how to bat. Matt Hayden as a sort of specialist batting guru for Pakistan. That's a plot line I don't think many people saw coming.
Yeah.
As Bolt fires one in on the pads of Rizwan, who negotiates it down towards fine leg, and the ball trickles into the rope for 4 runs. Not a great ball. Well played by Rizwan though to make the most of it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It was reminiscent of when Kohli was in the depths of his bad patch, and Indian fans kept putting up footage of Kohli in the nets looking so good.
Yeah. Edited 3 hours of nets down into a 4-ball highlights reel where he middled it. Full again from Bolt, really looking for swing, and it's not there. That time it's driven through the covers. Not timed very well though, so it will just be 2. The ball never even threatening the boundary on that occasion, and probably a little bit lucky to squeeze through the ring.
This is what I was saying, when Bolt's pitching it up looking for swing that's not there, he can bowl you a lot of balls to score off.
Yeah, having a chat with the captain now, and I suspect the conversation is something along the line, so I'm going to have to drag my length back here.
Yeah.
And you know, move the field around to compensate for that. In fact, I think, yeah, they're sending fine leg back, so it would suggest that they at least want a shorter ball in play here. 20 off the first 2.5 overs. That's another wide, long hop, and it's smashed through point by Mohammad Rizwan, who is on 17 off 9 balls. There will be another 4 runs, taking Pakistan to 24 off the first 3 overs.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Adrian layers that one to let the grass grow under his feet. He says, "Merry Christmas, everyone. Just putting the Brussels sprouts on in preparation." Mog says, Matt Hayden, possible white supremacist, is starting to look like a grizzled old veteran spaceman at an old Doctor Who episode. On an old Doctor Who episode, who betrays his comrades to throw in with the Daleks.
Interesting move from New Zealand. They've gone away from Southey early here, and they've thrown the ball over to Lockie Ferguson. Maybe they think the extra pace is what's most likely to bring them a
more
wicket
so
here.
than swing, quite possibly. So let's give good old Lockie, the king of the puns, a jingle.
He's got very tight strides on, Lockie Ferguson. 69 on the back of his shirt. First ball is driven back down the ground. That is a glorious shot from Babar Azam. Beats the bowler, beats mid-off, and runs away for 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
2 full again. I mean, Ferguson is not so much known for his swing, so a bit surprised he starts off with a half volley.
Yeah, it floated up there a little bit, didn't it? Babar Azam had no problem putting that away.
But when you're going to bowl there to Babar Azam, he is going to look good. That's a good shot as well.
A short ball, probably more the area he wants to bowl.
Ooh.
Comes in at Babar's hands. He runs it down to third man, and they come back for 2. But I tell you what, the second run was a bit dicey.
I thought so.
Ish Sodhi, the fielder on the boundary. I mean, I guess maybe they picked their fielder a little bit. I don't think he's known for his arm. Gets the ball in, and it sort of lollops in rather than coming in flat. Even still, had that hit the stumps directly, or had Conway maybe been a bit nearer the stumps as the keeper, I think a run out was in play there.
It was.
You can tell the run out market is running at $12.50 at the moment, so there's a bare chance.
Ferguson in, steered down to third man once more. It's returned. There won't be 2 this time. Learnt their lesson.
Yes.
Just a single.
I think Rizwan was a bit surprised they came back for 2 there. I mean, he was running to the safe end. Even so, he's going, what, 2? Really? Okay. It's your funeral.
Yeah. So a couple of little bits of luck for Babar Azam so far. Dropped on a very tough chance, and potentially a little bit of a missed run out for New Zealand. Both of them probably low likelihood dismissals, but you've seen them happen. You do see them happen in cricket.
And it's the kind of thing that can turn a semi-final like this, I think, as we were saying on the break.
Pakistan well on top, I'd say. 31 for no loss after 3.4 overs as Ferguson comes in and Rizwan defends.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about 40, 45 for 1 as maybe best case for Pakistan. They could be on 50 for 0 end of the power play. Could be.
That'll end well, I'm sure, Andy.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, they could be. I wonder what. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some early spin. Mitchell Santner maybe next over to see if New Zealand can get something there, or build some pressure anyway. As Ferguson is in, and that's a really risky single, I have to say. It's dropped into the offside in the area of extra cover. Luckily for Pakistan, extra cover didn't get across. If they had, they'd have been able to pick the ball up and run that to the stumps. I think there's half a yard in that. at best. It gets past extra cover and goes up to mid-off, and they do come through for the single without a shot at the stumps or anything like that.
Well,
But,
Bear is on his toes because he's got 25 to round one on a run out. I really must start doing these when I'm at home.
That looked very risky. That delivery ends the over. It is defended to gully-ish, backward point-ish. 32 for no loss after 4. Pakistan go along 8 and over. That's above the run rate, and crucially, they have not lost a wicket.
Adrian Lowe says, are Pakistan really good, or have New Zealand not turned up? Armchair Cricket Podcast says, why take Southee off after 1 over? Who's one of the best, New Zealand's best exponents with the swinging new ball?
Well, it's that keyword swing.
That's the answer.
It wasn't, and that's why.
Yeah, it's been very little swing tonight, has there?
Shaheen Shafidi, first over, but that was probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we've probably seen the best of Pakistan so far, but that's probably because we've seen them bowl first, and we've seen probably their best two batters actually bat okay. Yeah. A breakthrough for New Zealand, and they're well back in the game. I mean, I'd imagine Win Predictor has it at 80% Pakistan or something like that, but Pakistan don't bat deep and they do panic. So it's not a great combination.
I'm shocked that someone has a sign that's actually quite funny.
Is this Southee coming back in from the other end? It is. He bowls a little bit of a slot delivery, wide of off stump, quite full. Rizwan nails it, picking it up from outside off and dumping it over mid wicket for 4 runs.
Yeah, we're talking about puns. Someone had a sign saying weather forecast, Pakistan will rain tonight, REIGN. That's good. I like
God's
that one.
sake. Come on.
It's better than usual.
That's not saying a lot.
Another delivery in the same area, slot-ish, wide of off stump, is smoked by Rizwan. A little bit spare this time. Same result, 4 runs.
That was so similar. I'm going to give it the same jingle.
Well, Pakistan coming out with intent here. We've not seen this from either batsman for the whole tournament, really.
And what a difference it makes. What a difference it makes.
Could...
It's really getting them a platform here. I mean, obviously Pakistan could do anything, but they've hit 4 boundaries in the last 7 balls.
New Zealand in desperate need of a wicket here. What's Southee going to do? He goes full. Rizwan rolls his wrist on it, gets it behind square to short, fine. The ball doesn't fly off the bat though, so they come through for an easy single. We see Sean Pollock giving out some hats.
It's the ICC Hall of Fame. And we saw Shahid Abdul Qadir. I thought Abdul Qadir was no longer with us. Is that maybe his son picking that up? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Anyway, that's a wide from Southee. He's gone with another slower ball, but very clearly a wide down the leg side.
Andy doing my job for me there. Thank you, Andy.
Sorry. Wide. No, I apologise. In that case,
you
do my
called
job
it as well as anyone could.
Give us a bit of summary then. We'll switch over.
Yes, you're correct. Abdul Qadir died in September 2019.
That's his son, Usman Qadir. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And here comes Southee once more past the umpire. Test match length outside off stump. Baba tries to run it down to third man, but only finds Ish Sodhi on the edge of the circle at short third. So can't take a run there. 42 from the first 4.4 overs. It's a dream start for Pakistan. Takes so much of the pressure off.
Yeah, very worrying for New Zealand.
I think New Zealand would have been relatively happy with their work with the bat, particularly considering their slowish start. But now their total does not look particularly healthy. As another, I mean, it has to be said, a very innocuous delivery in the slot on the pads of Babar Azam this time is smoked over square leg, and that will run away for 4 as well.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Well, there's a danger they've given Babar Azam enough freebies. He's going to get back into form.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Most club cricketers would fancy that, to be honest. It's a slower ball, I think. It's not really threatening anything, and it's been put away. Southie in once more to finish our spell together as a trio. It's wide of off stump and flicked across the line by Babar Azam for a single. 47 for no loss, Pakistan, after 5 overs. They are motoring. The target is 153. They have 1 foot already in the final, is my take on this match so far.
I'll do a couple of tweets before I hand over to you, Andy. Jay Grover says, serious question, what does it mean if the market is at X number of dollars? Well, it's the money you will get as a return on $1. So if you get $10 back for a $1 investment, the odds are 9 to 1. I hope that makes sense. Angelic Scooters says, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Usman Khadir, former West Australian leg spinner. And Mog says, which others cricket has taken too soon can you remind us of? Keep it light, boys, and we're up to date.
Yep. Ferguson's going to continue. That one is clipped down to deep square leg. And we've had 2 overs for 15 already in this power play, Bennett. Quite a shocker for New Zealand.
Absolutely. I mean, given their kind of meager total, you would have expected a little bit more, especially from the experienced duo of Trent Bolt and Tim Southee. Pakistan certainly cruising at this stage, but you never know the glorious uncertainties of cricket.
Ferguson, that's a better line on 4th stump. It's played up to mid-off, who is quite close. They won't get a single, and Rizwan is waving at someone behind the bowler's end.
They've had this problem right throughout the game, haven't they? Kane Williamson struggled sort of behind the bowler's arm with the side screen. It's quite sort of amazing for a game of this stature and nature, World Cup semi-final, for them to be still struggling with the side screen.
Well, it's people walking in front of it and so on, isn't it? It's the only thing I can think of. Here comes Ferguson again. That's on the pads. He gets away with it. It's a very hopeful appeal. That's not going to come to anything. They'll skip through for a leg by.
They need wickets now, Andy.
Very
Absolutely.
much so, yeah.
The required run rate is just 7.17, so almost just above a runner ball. Cruising along Pakistan with all 10 wickets in hand.
Well, they've tried all their main 3 pacers. Ian Smith giving a bit of some body language suggesting he doesn't know what's going off out there. And New Zealand with a bit of work to do here. Ferguson's going to try to do it. Even he hasn't looked particularly quick. That's short, it's skied, but all the luck's with Pakistan at the moment. It's gone over the keeper's head. It's also skipped on with the spin, and that's going to be 4 more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The Kiwis didn't have much luck going their way, didn't they? Even the edges were going straight to hand. No kind of luck when the ball was in the air. So it's a doomed kind of a day's cricket for New Zealand overall.
Well, you've got to pull together and say, well, we're going to overcome that.
Exactly, nothing going their way, unfortunately.
Ferguson is short, tipped down to short third man. They get a single, but Sodhi declines to throw the ball. It's 54 for naught, and we were all talking about maybe Pakistan could get 45 for 1. 54 for naught with the ball to go in this power play. Be absolutely delighted with that. And from 2 batsmen who, their mainstays of their batting, who haven't had a great tournament so far, but a bit like Daryl Mitchell, they've come to the party at the crucial time.
It's amazing. They depend on these two so much, don't they, over the years.
Inside half of the bat for Rizwan. It's going to go out to deep square. It'll be a single. It's the end of the power play. Great one for Pakistan. 55 for naught. Jack.
Let's have some tweets. Warren says, this is just a 4. If Pakistan win, my head might explode. And he's sent us a video of, well, he's in a bay of people surrounded, in a bay of Pakistan fans, and they're going ballistic. Crypto Rocketeer, if England win tomorrow, who would you prefer we play in the final?
Pakistan. Because they're so unpredictable. If they come up with the wrong end of the bed, we'll have an easy walk in the park in the finals.
I think, but doesn't that mean that you're more likely to beat New Zealand?
I think so, because England are basically better than New Zealand, exactly. So they prefer a lower variance opponent. Yeah. But you get what you're given, and England just have to go out and beat India tomorrow, as India have to go out and beat England. Right, I'll
I
be
think,
here in the
I think
studio
if
for
England
that game.
win tomorrow, they will definitely win the finals. If they can prevail.
No,
over
what are you giving me on their opponents then? 5-1? You said definitely. Right, this man's going to bowl.
Centenor baby, get some drift into the pads for me. Been an awful good Kiwi.
That's too short though, and it's punched out to deep extra for 1 run. And these batsmen should be in clover against all. They're set. We've got a spinner. We're not seeing much turn. It's going to be difficult, Bennett.
Yeah, but Santander has been. He can bowl on any wicket. He's certainly quite he keeps one end going. So interesting period of play here, Andy.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be much of a wicket threat, and that's what New Zealand need. That's a good ball though. Good length, turns away a little bit. It's played into the offside for no run.
But if he can keep one end tight, then they may try to sort of break free on the other end, the potential of getting a wicket or 2.
Yep.
In that sense, yeah.
That's got to be the aim. Santner again, left arm around. Again, it's punched into the on offside, but he does get it through the gap there. That'll be a single. New Zealand throwing the ball into the ground, as the teams do now, desperately trying to get some scuff or something on that ball.
It was unusual to see none of the 3 paces getting any breakthroughs. It's quite seldom we find that in this New Zealand pace trio.
Tossed up by Santner, it's flicked into the leg side. They're going to push for 2. They say no. I think it might have been on, but they turned it down. Bear was going, take 2, take 2. I can't believe
take that risk anymore.
No, I can't believe they're still giving 25-1 on these runouts. Trouble is, I'm always in here now. Can't be at home to bet on it. Santner's down the pads. It would have been a wide. He elected to hit it for 4 instead, and why not?
That was freebie there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He was building a little bit of pressure that over, but that just let it all out.
That's very unlike Santander to do that. The pressure getting into him, I think. Poor
Dragged
delivery.
it down the leg side, and the batsman said, "Thank you very much." So 62 for naught in the 7th. Santner to complete the over. Tosses up again. It's not a bad shout. I don't know. It's maybe he's made some ground down the wicket, but I think New Zealand probably will review if they've got any chance that they think this is out, because they need a wicket so badly.
I think they've got to go for this.
I think so. I mean, they'll look like the worst if they don't review and it's out. They are going to review. It's not a bad shout.
Straightened at all, it's in play.
I think it's definitely in play. I guess the umpire was figuring he was down the track a bit. It could be an interesting one, but New Zealand begging for this to be out.
A couple of tweets while we're waiting for ball tracking. Armchair Cricket Podcast says 15 run overs in the first 5 overs to finish 47 for none. Pakistan have already equalled New Zealand's best 5-over period in the game. Could well be a cakewalk from here. And Leah says, I'm going to blame Williamson for the loss. Is there an inside edge there?
I don't think so. If there's not, is it going to say he's not that far down the wicket?
No, he's not that far. I think that's.
I don't think 2.5 metres is going to come in play.
Not exactly. He's not
Hit
moved
him
out of the
hit him
crease.
in front of middle. This could be
Height?
good.
I think it's close.
Height?
Yeah, could go over because it's.
No, it's sitting.
This is going to do it. Hearts in mouths. Hit him in front of middle. Over the top. Yeah.
The
over
angle
the
there,
top.
isn't it? The angle didn't help.
Straight over Midland leg, but a good couple of balls over the stumps. Erasmus wins again. Ha ha, he says, and it's 63 for naught off 7.
I'll do the final tweet we've got then. Angelic Scootus, this may well be the end of Bolt as a player at ICC tournaments. So there's a bit of an end of the era feeling about this from New Zealand. I think he'll be in India next year for the ODI.
Well, isn't that why he's stopped playing tests, so he can play more white
he
ball
wants
cricket?
to focus on the white ball cricket, but the thing is, age is catching up for both these warhorses, aren't they? Tim Southey's been there forever, Trent Boult, and even like Williamson. We might see even the Australian sort of team for that.
They're only 33 and 32. They're not like 70.
Yeah, because they've been playing
Not
since they're very
40
young.
like Jimmy Anderson.
He can play still on. Another 5 years, I think, Jimmy, the way he's bowling.
Another 5 years in county cricket, definitely, if he wants. Right, where's Ishsodi? Here he is. I'll give him after this ball because he's going to come in and bowl to Babar. defend it onto his own foot, and we'll have a jingle.
He came onto the scene in 2013. From his hand, leg is spinning. He loves number.
Devon Conway behind the stumps, desperately trying to G New Zealand up, but where's this wicket going to come from? I've even lost a review now. It's a good ball, but Babar has plenty of time to go back and clip it into the leg side for an easy single. Rizwan 30 off 19, Babar 31 off 25. An absolute textbook start for Pakistan, chasing 153. They're almost getting this close to a run a ball.
Do you think this like Ken Williamson is like regretting the decision to bat first?
Probably is now. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. That one's pulled out to deep mid wicket. It'll be another single.
I think early on in our this commentary, Andy, we did discuss the toss, didn't we? And I was really thinking about that decision. As you said, hindsight is easy sort of, to comment. But
well,
quite a
few teams have gone with batting first in this tournament. It seems to work, but the long-term trend is bowling first. Maybe teams a bit swayed by some short-term results. That one's pulled into the leg side. It'll be one. It will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Either team wins whichever team wins the toss.
They must have had a plan, but certainly it's backfired, hasn't it? Are they playing in Sydney as well tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. I think it's Melbourne tomorrow. I'm not sure though. Sodhi, 3 singles off 4 balls so far. And that's off the inside edge from Rizwan. It's going to go to square leg and they'll pick up an easy single. Bounces just in front of the keeper who spills it. 67 for naught. 1 ball to go in the 8th.
Pakistan looking solid. Adelaide tomorrow, says Messi. Thank you.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
The final is going to be in Melbourne.
Final in Melbourne. So Sydney and Adelaide get the semis and Melbourne the final. Makes sense. Sodhi's in again. Short. Punched into the leg side. They will settle for 1. And why not? It's 68 for naught off 8.
Jack.
Only the solo tweets. Nindo says, Pakistan doing to the Kiwis what the Kiwis did to Australia. A little hello to everyone who's out there on our YouTube stream as well. Why don't you hit like and subscribe and support the podcast. What is it? Radio. Support Guerrilla Cricket that way.
Can be called a lot of things. It's like trying to explain your podcast to your grandmother.
So for those of you wondering what happens if it rains off, there is a reserve day for both the semis and the finals. Just in case you were praying for the weather gods.
Well, that might be in New Zealand's best chance, but even so, they don't start a new game. They will continue this one, but we're not threatened with any rain today. Santner, what can he do? Left arm around, wide of the crease. Pushed into the offside, and there will be no run. Williamson is in.
I think the only way one could get out seems like a run out here, gentlemen.
Bear could be in play. I wonder if it's
not
still
looking threatening at all.
I wonder if it's still 25 for 1 to 1. Santner is in. Pulled by Babar out to deep mid wicket. They'll get at least 1. Neesham with the throw keeps it to 1, but just they don't even have to try for boundaries at the moment, do they, Bennett? There's no need.
There is absolutely no need. They can just, cruise along at the way they're going. It's rather sad for cricket in my little sort of view, because a game like this, when we have so many nail-biting games in the league games, we have a semi-final, it's become a little bit of a one-sided drag.
Well, so far, things can change. England were looking pretty good against Sri Lanka the other day, and that changed very quickly. Sweep from Rizwan. They ought to be looking for 2 here. They will get 2 comfortably.
I think the more concerning thing for New Zealand is not really clear where they're going to get a dot ball from.
No, or a wicket.
These two are so good at scoring, and they've got so many different shots that they will relatively comfortably score at 7 and over, you'd think.
And the field doesn't look like it's an attacking field, Jack. It's just like spread around, so the singles are all there for taking, and they're bowling to the single, not
Just
like to take wickets.
To back that up, only 2 dot balls in the last 12, and that's another single out to deep cover. Phillips with a throw. 72
Unless you
for
buy
naught.
wickets, it's not going to come, Andy. You need to buy them, isn't it?
I don't know what they can do. I'd be scratching my beard if I was Kane Williamson. I wouldn't know what to do.
I wouldn't have any hair in my beard if I was Kane. I would have pulled them all.
Too wide from Santner. It's pushed out towards deep cover. 2 is in play. Phillips with the throw. No, just the 1.
Don't take on Phillips.
No, not particularly. 73 for naught. Pakistan need 80 off 67 balls to progress to the World Cup final.
I think the game changer was Glenn Phillips getting out. Andy, you reckon? New Zealand's lineup?
Didn't help, but to be fair, he was dropped in quite early on in both those 2 beginnings he played. Pakistan didn't drop him, albeit it was a fairly simple catch, and that made a big difference. Even though Daryl Mitchell did well, he scored 50 off about 35. That one is pulled out into the leg side again. We've seen a lot of that from the spinners. It's another 2. Again, only 1 dot ball from Santner, 8 off the over, all looking quite comfortable for Pakistan.
Yeah, Warren says maybe I spoke too soon in reference to his tweet from earlier on, saying that he didn't think that this would be a bear game. And Sterling looking a little bit bearish right now. My access, the forecast in Melbourne for the weekend looks miserable. Steady rain from Saturday morning until Tuesday. Joint winners on the cards at this stage, I reckon.
Oh, I wonder
Isn't
what
Melbourne like a maritime climate though? So it's like pointless predicting the weather more than a day in advance.
There's some homework for Jez before he comes on. What happens if there's no play at all in the final? Shared, or does it go on some countback?
I think they play a football match.
Bowl out in the indoor school.
There's reserve day for the final as well, isn't it?
Well, yes, but you know, it could rain then as well. Would be a shame, but rain has interfered with this tournament to some degree. Sodhi is in. It's a good length ball. Tap. Oh, a bit of a mix-up. Bear could be in play. It was a total mix-up. He ended up firing it at the bowler's end. The bowler wasn't behind the stumps, which is pretty criminal for a spinner, and it flashed past the stumps with the batsman well out.
And as I was suggesting, that's probably the only way that one of these batsmen are going to get out of the way these guys are bowling. Close call there.
Sodhi, to be fair, was in front of the stumps, but not in a great position. And it wasn't a very accurate throw. It was a good yard wide. Williamson shakes his head. That's the best chance they've had in the whole innings, I think. They ended up going through for the single after a major hesitation. That's a lovely shot. Little lap on the full. Southey is after it, running through treacle, so they're going to get at least 2, and they probably get 3 there. Yep, nice shot that one. It was premeditated, and then he found the ball just in the right place.
So required run rate now dropping to just below 7 as they're steadily progressing. Pakistan certainly got their foot here.
And this is the template Pakistan were trying to put together. It was what they were doing well against England in the games they won. Big opening partnership. Keep the opposition to a manageable score. That one is pulled into the leg side. 2 bounces to the fielder. It will just be a single. Batsman has to duck under it.
And Andy, the openers always give them a good, steady, nice little start, a good foundation like what they've got now.
Well,
and
not always, but it certainly helps when they do.
Yeah. So when they've been doing well historically, that's what's happened.
Yeah.
But that's where they failed in this World Cup initially, because these two didn't really sort of get going.
No, they knocked half the runs off against Bangladesh, but that was a very strangely low-key game. Sodhi's in again, just tapped into the offside. He's got enough of that into the gap to get another single. 81 for no wicket.
And they're really very experienced campaigners, aren't they? They know what they're doing.
And really, there's only been a couple of dot balls, I think, in the last 3 overs.
They've been together too long to let the situation get over them now.
Sodhi is in. Cut by Babar, past point. He should get 2 here. He might get 4 actually. Yep, that's a lovely bit of placement. And that one is another 4.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
I'll give you a possible strategy for Pakistan. Now, this worked against me. That doesn't mean it's going to work against international batsmen. 2 or 3 years ago, we're playing a game and I was opening and we had got to 20 overs, 120 or something for naught, totally on top of it. We stopped for drinks. Sodi is going to have drinks in a minute after this ball. Too short, punched into the offside. Past a man, that'll give them 2 at least. They might even think about 3 here, maybe on the throw. No, just the 2. So we're totally on top in this game, and first ball after drinks, opposition captain shouts, "Ring of fire," and they all come in really tight on 1. And I'm ashamed to say I played 3 dots and then hit the 4th one straight up in the air. It worked.
Oh. Good thinking, Andy, good thinking.
Not by me, no. Do you think New
with-
Zealand could try that, maybe?
Whatever they can to buy a wicket. So at the end of the 10th over, we're for a change now, Andy, aren't we?
Yes, Bear's going to come back in.
Do you have any
you're going to
tweets
go
or
on
anything on media?
ball
You're
by
on media,
ball.
aren't you?
I'm going to go
Yeah.
on to tweets.
Let's just give a quick summary to the listeners who joined in. This is the first
Yeah, we got
semi-final in Sydney. The game being played in Sydney between New Zealand and Pakistan. New Zealand winning the toss, rather oddly deciding to bat, made 152 for the loss of 4 wickets. They struggled to get going after losing early wickets. The mainstay was certainly Darryl Mitchell, who was unbeaten on 53. Didn't have much support from Kane Williamson, 46 off 42, and Devon Conway, 21. Of the bowlers, we had Shaheen Afridi, 2 for 24, the pick of the bowlers, and the others all contributed nicely. Pakistan in return, halfway mark, are cruising along at 8.70 per over, 87 for no loss. Mohammad Rizwan 41 out of 26, and Babar Azam discovering the form that they've lost these two, 43 off 34. Andy.
Warren, in response to his own tweet, saying maybe I spoke too soon, says, but this is Pakistan we are talking about. Mayank says the Indian in me wants Pakistan in the final, while at the same time wants New Zealand to clean them up tonight. Well, you're certainly going to get one of those two, Mayank. One or the other.
You'll be the best of both worlds, Mohan. That's a nice one.
Messages confirms if there's no play in the final, the title will be shared. But I'm sure next time the two teams play, it will be billed as the World Cup final. Let's have a look on YouTube, see if anyone's on there. Bear, are you going to join us for some live commentary on your run-out bet, if nothing else?
Welcome back to all of you. It's going to be Andy, Bear, and myself taking you through to the next 5. Andy.
Yeah, well, Bear's going to join us soon enough. The usual suspects: Stephen Kelk, Sutahu, David Smith. Hello to everyone on there.
If you're tuning in, it's a bit of a drag today, but we don't know. The glorious uncertainties of cricket could prevail. Halfway mark, Pakistan looking solid, 87 for none. I mean, England and India watching this, who do you think they would fancy?
They'd fancy New Zealand more. Looking at this, Pakistan are starting to look pretty good.
It's just how they're built up, haven't they? I mean, Pakistan didn't belong here. They crashed the party. They were about to bow out in the initial stages, and here they are making inroads as we begin the 11th over. It's Ferguson, the speedster. Can he bring New Zealand back?
Well, I need a run out still.
He's already bowled one of these.
Got a bit.
Wide. Not today, thanks. Maybe tomorrow.
It's quite tense.
Nice one. Welcome back, Bear, joining us for this stint. Bear, 88 for no loss. Ferguson bowls shortish delivery, and he jabs it towards the cover region, and off they go.
Yeah, well,
They go round.
Pakistan have got Rolf van der Merwe to thank, haven't they? That fantastic catch.
It certainly was a big factor. Just the South Africans' entire approach in that game, they're all just looking at each other thinking, well, someone's going to get these
Yeah,
runs.
exactly.
They all got out for 20 off 20.
And the other thing to think here is Babar and Rizwan, they do it every once in a while. Is this the one they do and they don't do it in the final?
Well, who knows?
Well, they've come good at the right time for their team, for their country, haven't they? And it helped them. The situation was so easy for them to sort of get into form rather than chasing a mammoth total. The next one's jabbed to the third man area, and the batsman go through for single. I mean, certainly, looking at the England, Sam Curran evolving himself as a death bowler has been, for me, one of the most fascinating parts of this tournament.
Absolutely. Took me by surprise.
Ferguson bowls. That's pitched on an awkward length and climbs onto Rizwan as he gently nudges it towards the third man area, and the batsman go through for single. 62 needed or 57. And yes, I mean, Sam Curran, they've been trying so hard to find that ball, haven't they? They had Chris Jordan in for a long time. He didn't really deliver consistently, and tried various other options. And this boy, he can bowl with a new ball, he can bat top of the order, he can open the batting. He's such a versatile cricketer, isn't he? Great
shot,
all-round game. That's the shortish delivery, pulled beautifully, timed exquisitely, and placed meticulously there for a boundary, and certainly relieving more pressure. 95 for naught in the limit ball.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They're cruising this now. You wonder whether New Zealand will just fall apart by the
Absolutely cruising it. I mean, yeah, it's hard to see where New Zealand are going to get a wicket from. And these are two batsmen you don't want to bowl out when they're set.
No, this is the thing. It's difficult. A run out may well be the most obvious one.
Yep.
They might even do it without losing a wicket here.
And they could even get that when they had the chance earlier on. So
if there's no wicket, you might get your money back on that.
I might do. Presume you lose then.
I don't know. Depends on the terms.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's a very uncommon dot there after a long time from Ferguson. The batsman having a chat. Babar Azam 48 not out. Ferguson unfortunately not able to deliver for New Zealand. New Zealand wondering how they can pick a wicket here. They're struggling. And this one's on the leg stump. Very comfortable. Babar Azam always has plenty of time to play the shots, and he plays it towards the onside, and the batsman jogged through for a single, and that's a lovely 50 for Babar.
They actually got two there. It was a bit strange because they ambled the first one, but suddenly realised two was on. Right.
They did. So at the end of 11, Babar's on 50.
With your 50.
Andy, got any tweets? Anything on media tweets?
It is, isn't it? It's me. Hang on.
We end of over number 11, 97 for no loss.
Yes, Jay says the only certainty in cricket is Bennett saying the glorious uncertainties of cricket. Mog says Pakistan are playing their final today, and whoever plays them in the final will destroy them like tissue paper. Tony Cork says BCCI will insist that the final is determined by a single round of the lesser-known sequential rock, paper, scissors, and graciously allow their opponents to serve.
Yeah. So what if two final days get rained off? It's a split.
Split, yeah. Just share it, yeah.
Why not do England if we got to the final? In some ways, we could say we're joint
ODI
and T20 world champions. No, of course it's not
one and a half world championships.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Claim it.
Pakistan supporters waving the ban. Form is temporary, class is permanent, they say. Yes, the dynamic duo have proved them right on this occasion. The next ball, Ish Sodhi tosses it way outside the off stump, and Babara and Rizwan fetches this from outside the off stump and plays it towards the onside, and the batsman go through for one. Babara will come back to form. Yes, back.
I guess the only hope here is New Zealand somehow getting to the final over. They require 6, and Pakistan managed to implode in a Pakistani type way.
Sodhi comes in on middle and off, and this one's nicely nudged away there very gently in order to come back for 2, but the batsman decided against it. Pakistan 99 for naught. Is it the first century partnership of this World Cup for them? Yes, I think almost certainly. I think they've got the highest number of century partnerships in T20 cricket.
Well, this is the thing. When these two get going, they're hard to stop, isn't it? I mean, you can't afford these two to get going in tandem, because generally they do pretty well when they get going.
And it's bad news for the finalists, whoever they're going to be. This one's a nice delivery, tossed up, a bit of air and a loop and a nice shape, and Rizwan watches it carefully and acknowledges to the bowler and signals to the non-striker that turned off a good length, a good bounce, and good loop there. Great delivery from Sodhi, and many more of those needed here to stop the run-hungry Pakistani batsman. This one's on the Midland leg, and Rizwan going on the back foot, rocketing on the back foot, places it towards the mid-wicket area, and the batsmen go through for 1. Matthew Hayden is the batting coach. Is looking very important and certainly very happy, and that's Mohammad Rizwan's 50. And 100 partnership. He's not got a 50.
I don't know.
It's 44.
It's this. Well, let's give it this.
The bowling attack has been survived and sometimes even plundered. The partnership has hurt.
I think you can guess what was going to rhyme with
It's gone to 100.
It's 100, yeah. Middle and off, and the batsmen go through for a single. Apparently, they're the first pair to have 3 century stands in World Cup T20 cricket, or T20 cricket in general.
No, World Cups, I'm pretty sure.
World Cup.
Yeah.
World Cup.
Yeah,
yes,
I think they've
World
done it more than that in regular T20s. I need a comedy run out, someone to miscommunicate the wrong thing at the wrong end.
Well, New Zealand need that as well, I think.
So he comes in this one. So again, he's looking to fetch the ball from outside the off stump. So they're making him go, dragging the ball, and making it difficult for him on the location. But 1 run for the taking at the end of 12, chasing a target of 153. Pakistan 102 for no loss. And they.
Warren says, shouldn't it go to the country with the most rain days, or just somehow award the World Cup to the concept of rain? And Jez liked the 100 partnership jingle. Oh, and Leah says, losing a knockout game by 10 wickets, Sean Pollock will be proud.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
England did that too against Sri Lanka. Remember when they were terrible?
Yes.
In the ODI World Cup. Yeah.
Oh Christ! Yeah, we got absolutely plundered, didn't we?
Oh, we got 220 and thought, yeah, we're in this.
And they wrapped it off in about 35 overs.
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Jar Warner and somebody won at Sangakkara probably.
No, it wasn't. It was one of the other
No,
guys.
no.
No, it was one of the
Dilshan,
other guys.
Dilshan, right?
I think it was one of the other. It was not one of the kind of big 3. It might have been. I'll look that one up. It was someone else. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So 51 needed as you come back in the 13th over. 48 balls remaining, just over a run a ball. Trent Bolt being brought back into the attack. They need wickets now. Pakistan, they have no right to be here. They have get crashed. They were not supposed to be in the semis. They have get crashed and making a statement. They are indeed. And this one, Rizwan plays it towards the fine leg area, and the batsmen go through for a quick single. Trent Bolt, the speedster, who has done many wonders for New Zealand. Sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to say on a completely different note. Do you see that Gunnathan Laika has been accused of rape in Sydney and held back?
Yes, that's very serious.
That's really serious.
Yes.
Very serious. I mean, he's had numerous challenges with the board and authority, and Sri Lanka cricket paying dearly. They've let him off on several occasions.
That's more than
that's
the
criminal.
board. Yeah.
Tinder, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, he's found this person on Tinder, and
I'd rather not speculate at this point, but those are very serious charges.
Yeah.
Very serious indeed. And he said, I mean, not similar to this, but he's had many other charges in the last few years. But because of his abundance of talent, Sri Lankan cricket have always given him the highest penalty and then reduced it. They are going to be eating a humble pie for this decision. They let him go, and now the whole nation is disgraced. Pakistan 104 for no loss in the 13th over. And this one's played towards the mid-wicket area. The batsmen go through for 105. 48 needed, or 45. Bear, what's the strategy they should do up now?
Well, the strategy here is somehow get a wicket or 2, and because you're at the sharp end of the game now, even if they need 35 or 30, get a couple of wickets and then get a few dot balls and suddenly bring it to 35 or 20, you suddenly give yourself a chance.
You mean bowl 10 dot balls in a row when it's 35 or 30?
Yeah, well, not like that you don't.
This one's over pitched, and
yes,
Babar Azam hits it hard and high, straight into the gleeful hands of Daryl Mitchell, who takes it gleefully in his bucket hands, and Babar Azam, looking to break free, loses his wicket, caught it long on off Trent Bolt, and Pakistan lose their first wicket, 105 for 1. Bear.
Wow.
The crowd says you're out.
Well, gee up the Kiwis. They'll think they're still in with a chance. It's got to get another one now and try it. This is it. Try and decrease the run rate for 2. I mean, there's how many? There's 7-8 overs left. 7 overs and 2 balls. Yeah. Try and keep them quiet for 3 overs. I mean, by quiet, 4 and over or something, and just get the runs out a little bit, so they might have to take a few more little risks. Get another wicket or 2, ideally, in that period of time. They put the jitters under. If they can get Iftikhar out as well, who comes in because he's the only batsman who's really done anything for Pakistan
No,
as well.
but actually, like Mohammad Harris, he's the one who's replaced somebody as an injury. He's the one who's changed the course of the games, the last few games, at number 3.
And he's coming in as well. It's interesting. They've sent, rightly in my opinion, they've sent him in ahead of Shan Masood. They said, you have a go and it's fine. If you get out, Shan Masood can come in and knock the ball around. But if you get 20 off 12, game's over.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, but I think Harris was always penciled in for number 3. I mean, Shan Mohammad bats at 4 and then Iftikhar at 5. And then they got the all-rounders, Mohammad Nawaz and Shadab Khan. So they bat deep because the all-rounders, Mohammad Nawaz is capable, so is Shadab Khan. He proved himself earlier. And then they go into the bowlers. So Mohammad Harris, he's the one in form. Ball comes in on middle and off. And Harris confidently crosses there and plays it back to the bowler. He's got to be no hurry here, gentlemen. He's got all the time in their hands.
No, not for Harris. Harris might as well just come in and blast it. If you want someone to score a run of ball, send someone else in.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see what he's going to do.
And you've got, look, I mean, at this point, you can't change your tactics too much.
Yeah. Oh, and this one's overpitched, driven uppishly, but he finds the ball in no man's land and opens his account with a boundary. And that's the end of the 13th over. Harris off the mark handsomely, 109 for 1 at the end of over number 13.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Yeah, Leah says it was Dilshan and Taranga in the 10-wicket win. That's right,
yes.
That's what I was looking for. Yep, Mayak says the Sri Lankan cricketer will be unable to leave Australia until the case is settled, of course, which could take up to a year, because as much as some people seem to think, international sportsmen are subject to the law. And India says move the final to Sydney. And Jez says in the semis and final, 10 overs per side are required to constitute a completed game.
That's true. Can they carry the game over from Monday? I think they carry the game over from Sunday. So if they get any play on Sunday, we carry it into Monday.
Ishodi bowling the 14th over of the innings, 42 required of 40 for a gain. He's varying his pace, making the batsman fetch him from outside the off stump, slower outside the off. Harris goes on the back foot and plays it towards, Rizwan plays it towards the square leg area, and the batsmen get 1. Matthew Hayden in the spectators area, players area. He's the batting consultant for Pakistan. We're very happy with the way these two have come back into form. So the goes, and that's a fuller length. An appeal for LBW, appeal for stumping. It's all happening here. And
well, I will review it because then they have to look at both, don't they?
Well, no, they'd look at stumping. You don't review for stumpings.
That's true, but they'll look at that. But then I review it.
It's not out, and it's their last review. How about that?
Yeah, it is.
They have 1 review left.
They have 1 review left. Hardly anyone uses 2 reviews in a T20. You're right in a shitter and about to go out of the tournament. You might as well. I think that hit him on the full, and therefore the bounce isn't going to matter.
It's outside leg for me.
Outside? No, it's outside off, maybe.
No, I think it's outside the off, maybe.
Oh, because you reversed. Okay, yeah.
So interesting call. This is an interesting part here of the game.
It's way outside.
What
off.
can we do?
I don't think it is, you know.
Impact.
No?
Impact in line. I think that's in line.
No, it's outside off.
Yeah. You think? I don't know. I think that's in line. Maybe outside off. I don't know what it was. Point is, they won't be able to take the spin into account because it's hit him on the full, and he might hit it with his bat. I don't think so though.
Yeah, which does make it a bit of a lottery, really.
It does, completely.
That's the rule, but what can you do?
Yeah, it doesn't. This is where Corkeye gets it completely wrong. Now, where's it going to hit him? It's outside.
Waiting
Yeah.
the decision, pitched outside the off stump, as we speculated earlier. So New Zealand lose their second review. They've got none in the bag now.
Ah, well.
Good try. Richard Illingworth, the English umpire, getting it right. Ken Williamson looking very worried. He had a bit of a punt on that, and Pakistan survive with the loss of 1 wicket, 110. Harris at the wicket along with Mohammad Rizwan, who's 49, 1 away from a well-compiled half-century. They are in pursuit of 43 runs off 40 balls, overpitched, driven nicely into the covers, the deep cover area by Harris, and they go through for a quick single. Pakistan, a win here would be a dream entrance into the finals. Nobody expected that a few days ago when they were playing Bangladesh. And so when Netherlands playing South Africa were firm favourites in round 2, in table 2.
And they were my dark horse, and they were looking really good for a while, and then they just fucking balls it up right at the end.
They just dipped like crazy, didn't they? New Zealand, the first to qualify into the semis, more likely to be the first to accept the semis at this stage. Short delivery. Rizwan on the back foot, plays it towards the mid-wicket area, and the batsmen go through for a single. Mohammad Rizwan, a very experienced campaigner. He's saying his prayers there. And has he got a 50?
For his 50, yeah.
It's 50, yes he has.
Stop, just cause you got to 50. Don't stop, treat it as a start. You can use this to get a better score. The first 50's done.
The funny thing about
there, Ben.
Yeah, very good comeback. Well, he's batted really well in this innings, 50 or 36.
This one overpitched again, looping it outside the off stump. Harry's not afraid to go outside and try to drag the ball. This time going straight into the short fine leg area. No chance of run.
I mean, the funny thing about South Africa is they beat India.
They beat India,
which
yeah.
was the big team to beat in their group. Should have put them in absolute pole position to top the
Well,
group.
what happened was after this ball,
Sodhi comes in, overpitched again, driven by Harris, and the batsmen go through for a quick single into the offside, extra cover area. Over number 14, Pakistan 113 for 1, needing 40 off 36.
yeah, what happened was India, South Africa, and Pakistan all beat each other.
Yes.
And it came down to what they did against everybody else. India beat everybody else. Pakistan lost to Zimbabwe. South Africa lost to Netherlands and were rained off against Zimbabwe.
Yes.
If it hadn't been for that rained off, it would have gone to run rate. But things happen. Messi just says Erasmus has that amazing ability to have a broad smile while his mouth keeps going down on both sides. That is amazing. And also says he did say it all depended on the opening partnership.
Yep.
So Pakistan well and truly ahead. New Zealand, the body language doesn't look well. Mitchell Santana is entrusted with the ball, left arm over the wicket. Here he is, experienced campaigner. He's looped it up, and so does Harris. He hits it over the infield, uppishly, well placed, and Trent Bolt goes around, stops the ball from passing the boundary, and the batsmen come back for 2.
I should have been looking for 3 there, really, but this is what I'm saying. Harris is going to play with intent. He's not there to knock it around. If you wanted to knock around, you would have sent Shan Masood in. So I think he's doing the right thing.
That's the kind of player that he is as well. And can you believe it? This boy didn't have a place in the squad before somebody got injured and had to be replaced. And this one plays, put the balls on the leg stump and plays it back past the bowler on the onside, and has enough time for them to come through for a single. What response on the ground there?
Yeah, they were looking for 2. No, I think he slipped. I think he slipped on the turn, or they were thinking about 2.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Yes, he slipped on the turn. Yes, he did, Andy. You're right. So yeah, no damage done. Just a single there. Pakistan 116 for 1. Santana bowls. Mitchell Santana. This one's outside the leg stump, swept away without much effort at all, and the batsman
should be 3 this time.
2.
I think they got 3 that time.
Yeah, they did. Rizwan hit that, and he's down at the bowler's end.
So the equation goes even better. 34 needed from 33 balls, just over a run a ball.
New Zealand just need some spawny wickets and to fuck up the run rate for 2 overs.
They need a lot from here.
Yeah.
They've been needing this for a long time now. The game's just slowly but surely slipping away.
Bowling very well
Tries
either.
to take pace off on the back foot, plays it into the covers. They're just getting the singles like any kind of club game, isn't it? like an amateur game. Makes it
Yeah,
very easy.
yeah.
Andy.
Santner's not bowled well today. I mean, he's only gone for 21 off 16 balls, but he's not posed any threat at all. Sodhi's been a little bit more of a threat.
Yes, indeed. I mean, he's just going through the motions today, just not creating any pressure. The gain on the back foot plays it to the onside, and the batsmen go through for one. So Pakistan, what a fairy tale this is going to be. They've won a World Cup after Imran Khan. Have they won a World Cup at all, gentlemen?
Don't think so. Since 1992, no.
Yeah, so 92 is
Got to the
last
final,
time.
didn't they? Got battered by Australia in the ODI final in 99. 99.
Last
Oh,
ball
99,
of
yes.
the spell, and a single taken by the batsman who crossed through. So at the end of 15 overs, Pakistan 122 for 1, chasing a victory target. They need 32 runs to win in 31 balls, and that marks the end of our stint. Thank you for having me.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. We're going to have a switcheroo. I can't do that seat alone though. We're going to have to switch seats if you want to sit in here.
Hello, Jack.
Sorry,
How you
technical stuff. We're going to have to switch
Good.
seats.
Good.
No,
we'll
because
let
your
them sort out the
headphones on that.
technical stuff without talking. Jack, what's the most exciting thing you're anticipating? The GPL?
What in this? I don't know. The crowd. Something good will happen in the crowd.
Something good will happen in the crowd. I don't know about that.
It's a rowdy crowd.
It's definitely a rowdy crowd.
Big conga.
I don't know if they do that kind of thing.
Well, with a Pakistani crowd, you're not going to get beer snakes, are you?
No, you're not. 31 required off 30. New Zealand's only hope is to get some really quick wickets and cause a little bit of panic in the Pakistan side, which will give them maybe something to bowl that in the last over. And it won't be a lot even if it's that. Southee is back into the attack. He's cut first ball hard, straight at point. Santa Fields, he hasn't bowled particularly well today. I don't think he's a particularly great bowler, but he somehow manages to do it. Stops that one. They don't even get a single, I don't think.
You might mention, Bear, the most exciting thing
drop catch,
possibly is what comes up after the game.
Well, what comes up after the game is the release of Who's That Weirdo, which is a new podcast. It's a quiz-based podcast, so it's a bit of fun. Goes off in various places. That's a ramp, goes right across his stumps, does Harris, and tries to ramp it down to fine leg. Bolt chases it down, but too much elevation and not enough forward momentum on the ball. Caught just before the boundary, and I get back. Did they get 2 or 3 there? They might have got back for 3 actually.
Yeah, I don't know. No, just 2, I think.
Just 2. 124 for 1 with 4 overs and 4 balls left to get 28 runs. I mean, it should be a walk in the park. They should do this, about 18.3. I reckon they're going to do it in.
Cool. Right. Well, I reckon 19.1. I think I'll take it all the way to the last over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Here comes Southee. Slower ball, just worked into the leg side, square leg. They'll get a single. Not Santner. Neesham throwing at stumps, and there's no run. Yeah, straight after we're going to release. So if you're listening to the show, and I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and I'm going to upload it to Podbean, and you can get our latest attempt at a podcast. It's all quite a bit of fun. It's only about 40 minutes long. Good for a cheap journey. It's got a great little jingle, and to open the show, and it will be released into the wild for the public consumption straight at the end of this game. Southee is in, and Rizwan can only work it to mid wicket for a no run.
This is a different New Zealand team from the one that started the tournament.
It's T20. I mean, this is the thing about T20, isn't it? I mean, this is it. You get to the semis, everyone's in with a shout. I mean, the goal of this tournament is to get to the semis and hope you have 2 good games in a row. Because you've got to play the same. I mean, you've got to go hard with the bat or whatever. You go hard with the bat one day and you've a load of fucking snicks and top edges that fly up onto the fielders in the outfield. The next day, everyone comes out in the middle of the bat. You get 6s all the time. You get 200. You've got to hope for the second day, 2 days in a row, rather than 50-50, as that's clipped up to long on and there's a single. And you do that, you've got a good chance of winning the tournament. Have a day like today for New Zealand and that's it, it's done. But that's the nature of T20. So I think it's professional cricketers, they all know that. and it's disappointing, and I think you get over it. I don't think this is any different. I mean, it seems more exciting to me because it's national teams, but it's no different to franchise tournament when it gets to this stage. Saudi is in, and that's worked into the leg side. Out to long leg and there's a single, which is why I think there was. I mean, when they came up with this thought, I was like, nah. But I mean, why not actually? You have the IPL every year. Why not have the World Cup every year? An international franchise tournament, essentially.
Well, because we can't fit it in anywhere.
Well, fuck one of the other ones off, because there's loads of money in this too, isn't there? And then it doesn't all go to fucking India. And there's a little bit of dispersion, and maybe that helps some of the smaller nations to be able to play other forms of cricket, and actually helps the game in general, rather than concentrating.
The problem seems to be at ICC level that each of the constituents doesn't want to interrupt their domestic money-making ventures.
Absolutely, but this is the problem, isn't it? The ICC isn't a governing body per se, and if it was, then maybe something could be done about that.
Is that Hendo there?
No, I just think, if you want a T20 tournament, why not have an international one every year? It's fun. It's fucking great.
I think they basically have the ICC, haven't they? They've got one a year from now on.
Yeah.
They were changing it, and then I thought they'd stop the idea of changing it. But if they do, then yes, that's probably a good thing. As that's worked out to the deep, and they get back for 2.
Sometimes it's 50 overs, so it's not always T20.
Yeah.
T20 every 2, and then a World Cup every 4, and then a...
I've kind of lost my love for 50 overs. I know that Hendo has, but...
I can't please you, can you?
No.
Nah.
Well,
I'm getting more
I
interested
want something
in
every
50
year.
overs.
I don't want that thing.
50 overs in a tournament's really good. I mean, you look at 2019 World
yeah,
Cup,
that's
that
true, but that was in
fantastic
England,
tournament.
and I was there, so...
Oh, fuck off.
I mean, admittedly, most of the games next year will be day-night games, so they'll probably start similar time to this. There'll be the odd 4 o'clock in the morning start or something. Slower ball, and Harris can't do anything with it, and it goes through to the keeper, and there's no run. I'm seriously, we've never not done a game on Guerrilla Cricket that England have been involved with, but I'm so seriously not into doing the 3 ODIs that come after this World Cup. I just think they're absolutely fucking pointless.
When do they start? Like Tuesday or something
like that?
well?
Yeah, I know one's on the 19th. I definitely can't do the 19th anyway. I've got things on that day. I might be able to be persuaded to do it. Oh, there's an appeal for LBW. But that's got to be they haven't run out of the reviews and the umpire's not giving it. It's got to be reasonably close. Probably going past the off stump, maybe just clipping.
Yeah.
It's a slower ball, attempted to hoik into the leg side. Completely missed it. Turned around and banged into his stumps. I mean, it's the kind of one that you might get given on the fact that it was an ugly shot and you got hit right near the stumps. But it was a knuckleball, in fact, from Trent Bolt.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ODI start a
on.
week tomorrow, 17th and 19th and the 22nd of November. There you go.
See, I just... And is one in Perth?
No, they're in Adelaide, Sydney and Melbourne.
And they all start at like 4 o'clock in the fucking morning.
I'm not sure.
Huh?
You're joking.
About 4 in the morning. Yeah, exactly. For 3 points
11:20, yeah. Earlier than that, in fact.
Oh, God, overnight. Jesus. That was pumped up to long on. Did they get that for 2? I think they did.
2, yeah, 2.
20 on Ricardo, 20. It's a breeze from here. Should be, anyway.
9.
Someone wants to hit a couple of 6s and just get it done quickly. You don't want to be
Yeah.
getting into the last over when there's an easy chance you could get it done
Don't do it
beforehand.
in England.
You got 9, yeah, exactly. You got 9 wickets in hand. It's just someone biff a couple of 6s. Doesn't look that easy to score, to be fair, once the ball gets a little bit older.
No, I think New Zealand blew it, didn't they, earlier?
Yeah.
On? Bowled a bunch of half trackers and. Well,
that's a better ball. Down the track comes through as well, misses it. Followed by Bolt, even though he took a step outside leg stump. No run, 132 for 1. 3.1 overs left, required 150. So someone's going to win the GPL today, because I can't see Pakistan losing. Whether they win it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, I think someone wins is my bet.
Yeah.
What's the Sydney River?
I think it's one of those that flows into the harbour. There's a whole lot of them.
That's could be a no ball. It's caught out in the deep.
Bounced.
Out. Well, it is caught, and it is Rizwan. And then there's a run out.
Run him out!
Because I think that was given as a no ball. and Rizwan was at the wrong end of the pitch at some point because they just carried on running. The comedy run out, I didn't have the money on that one. I had it on the first one. That's really irritating. But I think Rasmus has called that as a no ball, and therefore he couldn't be out caught, and he was caught in a deep. Rizwan, I think, was going back for a second. And because the umpire put his arm out for a no ball, didn't take note of that, turned around, run back, and was really short. He's hanging out, he's distraught, he's in the middle of the square. But I think he has to go. I think that's out.
Yeah.
You're either caught or you're run out off the no ball. It's one or the other,
Yeah.
but you have to go. Bolt's having a word with the umpire.
I think they want to check it because they're not sure. I mean,
I think that's a no ball.
He's miles down the wicket. I don't think that's a no ball. I think
Oh
it's
right,
too far
okay,
down.
yeah, because it's supposed to be it's waist height at the popping crease, isn't it? Yeah.
And I think it's probably above, maybe about waist height when he hits it, a yard and a bit down the wicket. He is out. Though.
He is out.
There's
Because either way he's out. It's either
one way or the other.
Exactly. It's either not a no ball when he's caught, or it's a no ball when he's run out. So he can't complain. He has to go. They are. I mean, I guess New Zealand don't want it to be a no ball. They'd rather have it as the caught.
No, yeah.
Because then they don't have to bowl an extra ball.
What are they looking at here?
What they are, I don't know.
Well,
Out. Yes,
okay,
we all
know
knew
it's
that.
out.
We knew that. It was Mohammed Harris. It wasn't Rizwan. Oh, so right, okay. So Harris is out. In which case, they've ruled it that it wasn't a no ball, and that Harris is out.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's some really
because then the run out. Because then the run out.
I
is
want
moot.
the run out to be out.
Yeah, I would love the run out to be out.
Funnier.
No, but
it is. No,
but
it is.
Rizwan is walking
on his
out.
way.
Oh no, he hit.
Right, so let's get to the bottom of this. Rizwan hit the ball. It was a low full toss. Rizwan's hit the ball, but he was a little bit far down the pitch to deep point. Deep point's caught it. The umpire initially said no ball because when he did hit the ball, it was above waist height. Because he was down the pitch, it wasn't a no ball. After that, they ran one, and one of the Pakistan batters inexplicably just ran two. And
it was Rizwan
run out.
Because Rizwan would have, after hitting the one and being caught, he would have been at the bowler's end.
Well,
so he's the one who obviously set off for the second and was run out as well. So
what the hell's going on there?
Craziness.
The run out.
Does that throw Pakistani heads? Are they going to do bad now? Who's come out? It's must be Shah Massood, isn't it? Surely you'd send Kusadin out, wouldn't you? No. Maybe it doesn't really matter. Yeah. It is Shah Massood. They shouldn't fuck it up from here. But you never know. It's a World Cup semi-final.
Was born in Kuwait in October 1989. Less than a year later, Saddam Hussein invaded. Coincidence? Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
Slower ball outside the off stump by Lockie Ferguson. Did they run for a bye? They did.
Yeah, I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, Shah Massoud gets the other end. There's no one. Back to those ODIs. Of course, if someone wants to come in and do the studio, then of course they can go on. If people want to do them, they can do them. It's just that I don't want to be here in the studio for 3 days at 4 in the morning. I don't mind doing maybe one or two.
3:20 a.m. they start there, actually.
Well, there you go. That's a really shit night's sleep.
By the way, Jack, there is no Sydney River in Sydney.
That's what I meant. What is the name of the river in Sydney?
Oh, well, the Hawkesbury is probably... the Hawkesbury, the Parramatta, and the Nepean, there's several of them flowing through into Sydney Harbour and the surrounding waters. Okay. You look up Rivers of Sydney under Wikipedia, you'll find them all listed.
Yeah, there you go. It's quite easy to do. Now that could have been a comedy run out as well. Oh dear. This is some nerves coming in the Pakistan side. It clipped sweetly by Shah Massoud. Straight to mid-wicket though. There's a bit of a fumble, but they set off for the single straight away. And if he'd have clipped it clean in, it was Kane Williamson, there'd have been a possible run out.
We support the
yes, I would be angry if I had been on the run out. I'd have been going, it's a run out, it was a no ball, but I wasn't, so I can be calm about that. Big Hing, all that. Now, did he get an inside edge? And then they go for a single. See,
Pakistan are panicking.
Pakistan are panicking. What are the odds now? Let's see, what can I get on New Zealand? Might be worth a
chip. 10% chance, something like that. What's that? 11 to 1, 10 to 1, 9 to 1.
No, the bookies will have it as something stupid like 5 to 1. Any money? Pakistan.
No, it's a $9.
6 to 1.
8-1 in Australia.
This is really short, isn't it? Considering.
That's terrible.
However, you'll be telling me I was a fool not to put money on if they actually win from here. If Pakistan throw it away from here, well,
I would laugh so much.
it would be quite funny. It would be. Well, no, they're not going to do it now. That's nicely timed by Harris, as he. It was a very full ball, and he got followed actually by Lockie Ferguson. He doesn't bowl slow, and it was nearly a York, and he managed to chunk it out with good timing. Past mid-off, he's up inside the circle. There's no one behind him. Makes its way down to the man. That's a good shot. 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
That's good wrist work to be able to get enough of the face of the bat from that angle to get it out past mid-off and with timing. Lockie Ferguson in short pulled. Oh, that's gone a long way out. That's not out. That's gone into the crowd, mate.
I meant out of the ground.
Oh, right.
I just didn't, I didn't finish that.
It's a short ball from Lockie Ferguson, picked up absolutely very sweetly by Mohammed Harris. And whacked out to the ground. It's not Mohammed Harris, is it? Harris.
It was, wasn't it?
Is it Mohammed? I don't ever know what his first name was. I can't even find him in a jingle cart.
Well, his name is Mohammed Harris.
It is Mohammed Harris.
She got that bit right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should actually probably get him in there. Someone was saying he's probably not in there. That is cut quite sweetly. Again, another full ball. Gave himself some room outside off stump. Cut it out to battle point. There's no run. Pakistani box is very happy. Yeah, Mohammed Harris. We do have a jingle for her.
He's played a useful role for Pakistan since he's come into the side, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's been in the last 2 games. Didn't he get 40 odd against whoever it was? Against Bangladesh, didn't he? Calm nerves, really calm. Well, not calm nerves necessarily. I think the opening partnership did all right. Kind of cruised it home.
Well, he got 28 against South Africa and 31 against Pakistan, against Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Are you drinking a Holston, Bear?
I am drinking a Holston. It's my second Holston in the morning, actually. Quite enjoy this morning drinking for the semi-finals.
Bear breakfast.
Bear breakfast. I was up at 7:15. In fact, I got up
So you'd be
early
up
now.
for 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, it's the equivalent of getting up at 8 and having a beer at lunch, isn't it? You know. At midday. I won't have any more, and I'll probably go home and have a little kip on the sofa, being an older gentleman these days. 145 for 2, Pakistan. Just need 8 more.
Nuts in the crowd.
So a couple of tweets. Leah says this is a pretty boring game. Let's hope there's a bit more to it tomorrow. Mayank says, crazy how 15 years ago there was no such thing about worrying about the domestic game. And Angelic Skook says, yeah, I wasn't expecting you to cover those 3 ODIs. Frankly, I'm much more interested in the Prime Minister's 11 4-day match here in Canberra.
Well,
much
exactly.
less
I mean,
pointless.
that's a wide, tossed-up delivery.
That's a dot ball.
Mitchell Santner, it's a dot ball. Yeah. I mean, that is true. I mean, doesn't the Test series start on 28th of November against the West Indies or something?
Yeah, 29th, I think it is, something like that.
I mean, they seem to have really shoehorned in these ODIs. That's top edge. That's dropped.
Oh, you've got.
Oh, dear. Ishodi has dropped. I think it's Shah Massood.
That's just...
No, it can't be Shah Massood. It must be Mohammed Harris, as he's done a reverse. It might not have reached. It might have been on the half volley. It might have been.
Boy, of course it's not going to bloody reach if you don't use your legs to walk forward and catch it.
Well, there is that. He's not the most mobile in the field, is Shodi?
It looks like someone's tied his shoelaces together.
Yeah, he's like a cartoon character, isn't he?
Well, New Zealand cannot complain. They've had a good run in the World Cup. They got themselves to the semi-finals, and they've rather stumbled when they got to their best game. In fact, was their first game against Australia, where they absolutely pummeled Australia, which did England massive favours in the end. Since then, I mean, did they have a good win against someone else? I think they kind of dribbled across the line against most people. Gives themselves some room outside off stump as it's tossed up by Santner. And
that's a special subject, isn't it? Dribbling across the line.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, this is the thing in a competition.
Quite enough.
It's just all you got to do is win. It doesn't matter how you do it, does it? You just got to get across the line, and that's what makes tournaments a hell of a lot more interesting than these stupid you know, inter-country pointless series. I mean, these 3 ODIs. There's no World Cup. There's no World Championship points on them. There's nothing on them, and they just seem to have been shoehorned into this basically 2-week period before England go to Pakistan and the West Indies. And sorry, Australia played the West Indies, which they didn't really need to do. Just had a fucking 4-week-long tournament. That one's pulled
TV
out
contract.
to deep square leg. Yeah, fuck the TV contract. I'm not fussed about the TV money. Who's going to watch it? And that's going to be a single out to deep square leg. I mean, if they wanted any English audience, they should have they should have put all 3 in Perth and had them day-night audience, day-night games, and then
That's that.
you might well have got. Is that it? It's not going to be a wide. It's going to be 2, maybe 3 buys, as it's overrun by Sodi going down there. But it turned inside. Conway couldn't grab it. Turned inside the batsman, trying to give himself some room. Beat Conway and then dribbled down towards the final leg boundary. Didn't cross it, and I think he got through for 3 buys.
2 here, and you're spot on, Jez.
Yeah.
Prediction.
Yeah, no, it was your prediction,
hold
wasn't
on.
it? 19.1?
No, I've done it the wrong way round. I've got the balls go down at the end of the game.
What's the GPL?
GPL, right? So if they beat them, if they get the 153, which they need, it would be 305. So that'll be Yoel Rubin, who I've never seen enter the GPL before, so he'll get a nice early win. And D Wells will share the pot, in fact, which will be 20.
Bloody D Wells is having a good tournament, isn't he?
I tell you what, D Wells is one of the luckiest. It is a she. That's pulled. It's going to be caught out. 2 required off 6 balls. They've lost a wicket at the end of the 19th over, so could be 19.1. It's a poor shot by Harris. He went to sweep it, got a top edge, just plopped into the hands of the man on the 45, and it will be a wicket.
I'll just get through a few tweets. Mayank reckons that they should get rid of ODIs after the 2031 World Cup is done. Mog says, so Australia, New Zealand and South Africa all need new captains. Who else?
India.
Angelic Scotus, when they had that run-out craziness, says, go on, give them a double play, make it interesting. And Yoel has tweeted, surprising, feels like this match is not half as fascinating as most of the earlier games, including the qualifiers. But, Yoel, the GPL is fascinating, isn't it? Mog says, fuck the next useless ODI series, you've earned a rest. Anichave just puts a grim emoji up about the weather forecast. Leah says, Holston Cult are Dalston. Holston's get you shit faced the best. And Yoel says, yes, I'm winning the GPL.
Well,
You are.
I don't know. Well, see, D Wells, right? She won the World Cup, the World T20 competition last year. She won the nearest the pin and got all the merchandise, which was about 250 quid worth of merchandise. She won 336 quid at the end of that mega run on not people winning, and she stands to win again today. So yeah, she must be a happy chappy. We're paying for all her energy bills over the winter at the moment, and,
For the next-
and we've given her some clothing.
But she's only winning because she put money into it as well.
Well, that's very true.
That is true. Yeah,
You don't get a chance to win if you don't play.
What was today's pot?
That's 42. Well, no, it was 41 at the start of the day. It was about 45, 46 quid, something like that.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. Well, it's split 2 ways, 22 quid, but it's a couple of pints down a pub, isn't it?
Yeah, 45 quid.
Who's the next man in, by the way? Was it Iftikhar Ahmed?
I think it's Iftikhar, yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
He'll be at the non-strikers.
He'll be at the non-strikers, but I'll jingle him up if he gets to face. Sharma Sulu is going to face. It's the last over of the day.
Come on,
They
blow
only
it.
need 2 runs. I have seen Pakistan fuck it up from here in an ODI they're not going to fuck it up like that though. It's going to be a wide down leg side. Yeah, it is a wide down leg side. So the score's a level. Now if we get 6, what do we get? 158 and 1521.
Yeah, 6 would keep the GPL in play.
So it'd be 310, wouldn't it? Though?
Yeah.
No, 305. A 6 would be. Yeah, it would do actually. If he gets a 6, no one wins. The bank carries
don't
on
laugh
going.
too much.
Yeah, 311 that would be then. No, 310. Yeah. He hasn't. He's knocked it back to the bowler. They're going to get a single. So that will be 153. D Wells and Yoel Rubin, I will be sending you some money. at some point today, probably in the next couple of hours, I'll get it done. But you will get a share of the pot, and the pot will start again tomorrow morning at 30 quid. Pakistan win the game with a single knockdown inside the man at mid-off. Don't think New Zealand can have any real complaints about that. They did bat particularly well. And they did get the all-important break the partnership of Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan, who finally came to the party this game and do what we've seen them do many times in the past, and that's put on a stonkingly good first wicket partnership. Had a little few wobbles at the end, lost some wickets, and you feel that's what I mean. You feel that if a team can get one of those two out and get the rest of the team in early, Pakistan can quite easily wobble. But if they do get going, like they did today, and this was at this point actually when we did the pre-tournament thing, and a lot of Pakistanis feel that way. You know, if Rizwan and Babar Azam get going, they can get a decent score. If they don't, it can be a bit panicky. You never know where they'll end up.
Just to give New Zealand
were a bit disappointing, weren't they?
Yeah, New Zealand were.
Yeah, look, to give... no, go on, Jack, sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you did. No, to give New Zealand a bit of a post-mortem, you know, we talk about Pakistan being a volatile side, but T20 is so inherently volatile. I can see why you say New Zealand didn't look the same team that beat Australia, but you have to look at what happened in that game. First of all, Finn Allen scored 40 off 15.
Yeah, exactly.
Then Devon Conway scored 76, which is both right at the upper end of what they can do. That got them to a big score, and then they took 3 or 4 quick wickets, which is the same
I
bowl
had the
as...
feeling that yeah,
which is the same bowl. Can I
really
finish?
Pumped up for that match in a way they weren't.
No, you see, I'm not saying. I don't think so. I think they're trying to do the same things, and it just didn't work. Yeah. I think we're creating narrative where there isn't one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's just it's a fickle game, T20. And that was my point earlier. You know, one day it comes off and you get 200.
Yeah,
and the next
exactly.
day, you know, and this is it. All you've got to do to win this cup is progress to the semi-finals and have 2 of those days where you get the 200 rather than the 150, and you'll probably win it, right? And so Pakistan have had an easy run today. If whoever plays them on Sunday gets Babar and Rizwan out in the Rizwan. I mean, if one or both of those have gone for under 20, then you see a completely different batting from Pakistan, and they could quite easily fuck it up. So they'll be hoping that they do carry on. They're ecstatically happy.
Even today, we said a couple of half chances earlier on. There was that half chance of a caught behind. There was a run out chance early on. You know, either of those goes in, different game.
Yeah, totally.
True.
Nature of sport. That's why we love it.
The nature of sport.
Last tweet is from Mog, who says genuine damp squid. Are you going to play something instead of the theme tune today?
Shall we pump tomorrow up a little bit and say what we think's going to happen in that?
Well, yes, we should do. Tomorrow is England versus India. In Adelaide. For a start, do you want to win the toss or do you want to lose the toss?
Well, in theory, you always want to win the toss. In theory.
I'm never sure about that, because I always think the pressure's off if you lose the toss, because you're just given what you're going to do. And then you plan for that. Whereas you win the toss, you make the decision. If it goes wrong, the pressure's on. Which is a little bit what happened to New Zealand today. You give what you're given, because you know in a way you know you can adapt to both situations, and so you don't have a choice. Whereas if you make the choice and get it wrong,
psychologically I see that, but it's another thing that logically just no.
Yes, obviously. But do you want to bat first or do you want to bowl first?
Now that's a much more interesting question.
I mean, statistically, in the last few games that I've watched, teams have decided to bat first and generally won. But
in
today,
the last few games,
yes,
over all of time,
bat second.
Bowling first, especially.
Yeah, but isn't that the thing about? That's the thing about that's what I was talking about earlier about tournament games. You know, suddenly it becomes actually.
Have we got the numbers for that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
no, I don't have them to hand. But I mean, in tournaments, being able to put pressure on the opposition. I mean, it works both ways, doesn't it?
Didn't work for New Zealand today. No.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that's what I mean. They made the choice.
Jack, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
I think India are slight favourites, but I think they've got more fail points than England. So I think what I mean by that is if Arshdeep Singh doesn't bowl well, then their bowling can be a little bit crap. If Surya Kumar Yadav doesn't come off, then who's going to do all the hitting for them? Like, where does that come from? Whereas England spread the load a little bit, Mark Wood can take wickets, Sam Curran can take wickets, Wokes can take wickets. Are they as good as collectively as the Indian bowling lineup? Probably not, but all of them are capable of contributing. And then batting wise, there's a bunch of guys who in theory could get 70 off 30. Which one will do it, we don't know, and there's a chance that all of them will fail. But there's more options, I think, from this point. It's quite a tough one to call.
The bookies have India slight favourites 5-4 on. England are evens.
I think more likely than not, Surya Kumar Yadav's going to get some runs, and Arshdeep Singh's going to bowl quite well. And those two things are problems for England.
Yeah,
one of those doesn't happen, then England are favourites.
What I will say is this: if the ball swings, England have got to negotiate 2 overs at least, and 2 overs at least of Arshdeep and Bhuvi. And Bhuvi and Arshdeep, if the ball has swung and it has the majority of the time they've got the ball in their hand, have looked fucking dangerous. And England quite easily find themselves 3 down inside 4.
Well, the thing is, when you get to a semi-final, it's very tempting to keep the same team, but there's quite a strong match-up argument for India bringing Chahal into the team, either for Ashwin or as a third spinner, because England have not done well for a while against spin turning away. They've got a lot of right-handers, particularly with Milan being out of the team. So
then you've got to hope that Moeen does his thing against spinners and has a day.
Well, yes, but it'll be interesting to see if India pull the trigger on that one.
I don't think they will.
No, I don't think they will, but I'm not the only one who thinks they should. People who know more than me think they should.
Well, yeah, there is a call for that. Any last tweets?
Hang on, I should just see. Yes, a couple now. Jay Grover says, thank you all very much. Stoked about Who's That Weirdo?
It's going to be coming very shortly.
Says that was very disappointing, quite frankly. Thanks for your hard work. And Nestlers is with us. I hope you're feeling a bit better, Nestlers.
Yep.
We want an India-Pakistan final, right? Well, we're not the ICC, so we're open to the best teams playing.
Personally, no.
I'm happy either way.
I'd have England as favourites tomorrow, to be honest. I think they're coming into their prime, and if they can bowl straight. Adelaide Oval is a very narrow ground, so if they keep their line right, I think they're in a very strong position.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that plays into if you do swing it and you get it slightly wrong for Arshdeep, for example, swings it into the pads or someone like Butler, and Hales, you can see that first 6 overs of power play being pretty good for England. If he gets it right, it makes it difficult. You've got to drive up the ground, singles, 1s and 2s, unless you can get it inside the men. It's a tough one to call. I mean, yeah, it'll be an exciting game, hopefully, unlike today's. We were hoping for excitement.
Just imagine if it's going to be a last over classic. That's going to be brilliant.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'd love that. I mean, and the final too. I mean, if the final is Pakistan versus India, Pakistan have got to be looking for revenge for that group game.
Of course.
Because fuck me, they fucked that up. But hey, we're going to get off, and we'll be back at 10 to 8 tomorrow morning for the second semi-final. Adelaide, England versus India. It's going to be a cracker, we hope. So until then, see you all later.
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. I will be releasing. I've got to go and press publish on Podbean and YouTube, and they should be with you within the next 2 to 5 minutes, I'd have thought. See you tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Cheers.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stones for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Carol Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, Guerrilla crickets.
It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick your inner cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien